missed something with the ab cramps suck. Clearly, I guess I didn't hear that story. Joe, you'll have to fill me in at some later time. But the only comment that we just got from President Trump was they want the war to end soon. So I mean, he hasn't really said anything market related just yet. We'll wait. Maybe we'll get something on some headlines. Right now, you've got Apple breaking the high of the day. The futures are at that top. That's the one I'm watching right now, because I'm thinking if Donald moves the market, I ideally hope that he can give this channel a bit of a pullback here on AAPL, just because it's been holding the same channel. If he does something that kind of rocks liquidity, I think it's an opportunity to maybe get in for some dip buys and what has been a weird uptrend in this particular stock. So welcome, everybody. It's big earnings after the bell, obviously. We got a long way to go until we get to that. Great infographic. You guys just saw the performance of Intel. Yeah. Well, it's not like Lipbook has to do any worse. All they have to do is not lose money, and I think it'll be good for them. Alphabet's a big one after the bell, but this market is rallying. Shoot, I just missed that. He's talking more about the Ukraine than anything else. So it's not tariff related. It's really just about Ukraine at this point, I guess.
Yeah, Russia, Ukraine. Yeah, we have Trump in our ear right now. We just got another fill here on Amazon as it's ticking up higher and higher. Welcome, everybody, to the after show. Thank you, Nimrod, for your super chat there on the midday. I actually have to get into the right chat right now. And yeah, we're going to go over a couple names. We're going to sort of highlight some of the earnings that we're looking forward to today. There's the Amazon buy. We're just covering some. We still have 5%, so we're getting lighter and lighter on that trade right now. But it's been so far so good. And yeah, I mean, you never know when Trump isn't going to be speaking here how these markets are going to move. So we're just going to sit, relax, watch out for some of these plays. Google also reporting tonight, Alphabet. So back up to 160. That's really nice. That's that sort of target that we're looking for on a break there tonight for Google. Implied move around 5 or 6%. There's the break right there. Hopefully that can happen, get us back there to the upside. And then some big movers here today. And again, that's why I want to get the super chat up. Super chat's on the old show, but thank you, Nimrod, anyways, for it. But AREB today was a hold for him overnight, and it's made a nice move. Got up to 480 there today, very similar to what it did yesterday when it ripped up to the top and then kind of just hung out. Like there's that same move and then hung out. Now we're kind of getting that same move now hanging out lower. We'll see if we can get back up to the upside into through $4 right now and holding on to 450. We had this on our sticky note earlier at 3. It only gets as low as 350 today, so we should have been more aggressive with our take on that one. But okay, so Trump now talking about Crimea and so on and so forth. So this guy's all over the place, which is fine. But yeah, that's AREB there. Robinhood, what a great move that's been. And I mean, I know Joe was talking about this. You know, we've really liked this name from a long time. And if the market ever got going, we knew that sort of Robinhood had enough juice behind it to do that, up another 7% today. Robinhood, and I'm not trying to talk about I'm trying to talk about every kind of name that's moving around here, not just the big guys, but it brings me right back to Tesla, because they did have a huge move today from 250 up to 258, now hovering around the middle again there. Anything else? CEP?
SMCI just did a bit of
SMCI, yeah,
right turn here at the high. SMCI is up 10% today, and there's a little bit of a turn happening on a parabolic move. Simultaneously, a bit of a double top happening on AMD that I'm watching. If you come to my chart, SMCI, which was, I mean, steady Eddie, just cruising all day, just caught 36.5. What's even at 36.5? Nothing on the 15-minute, and I have to zoom in because that's not going to reflect the reverse split. No, yeah, there is resistance up here on the daily, up at 36.5 on SMCI. So it looks like this might be running out of steam. Been waiting. I actually paid for locates and did not take a shot at this at any point. Yeah, crazy move here today on SMCI, but along with a bunch of other things. It was nothing specific to them, but the chips were strong. You know, Lam had a great report. It was great, no question about that. So I'm coming. I'm still in end phase. I've been in that one conditionally overall for a while.
All right.
Mike is troubles.
Yeah, we haven't been able to figure that one out. So. All right, yeah, we're getting ready to go with Sharif here. Yeah, talking about Crimea, talking about all that, so we can look at maybe some I don't know, metal stocks. I don't know what's going on there with Ukraine, but this is CEP. This is another one up 79, 80% today. CEP continues to get higher and higher there as well. And then I'm not sure if what's going to be on the list or not, but IBIT, another mover here today. IBIT making moves. So yeah, it's going to be a good little rundown. We're excited to do it for you. IBIT again almost got to the lows of the day right there, 52.50 again. So look, whether or not you're trading Bitcoin today, or whatever you're trading, we're going to have that covered on the afternoon show. NFL draft tonight should be fun. Maple Leafs tonight. Kings again. Shout out to everybody in LA that you guys destroyed the Edmonton Oilers again last night, 6-2. Edmonton's given up now 12 goals in 2 games. And then we have, yeah, that's not good. I just want to see MSTR as well because, you know, someone on the midday was saying to Joe, if you're 70% in Bitcoin, I think that's what he was saying his holdings were, why not go into MSTR? I mean, this is going to be a levered Bitcoin product.
And why go into it? My question.
This will move. The appreciation in this will be.
But my guess is if he's 75% Bitcoin, he doesn't want extra.
No, instead of.
Instead of. Does it transfer one to the other?
Well, I mean, it's like if you think Bitcoin's going to $1 million, which would be great if it did, right? That's 10x from here. I wonder what, you know, if you do the math on where MSTR might go if it does get to that as well. I don't know. I'm just interested to maybe look into that kind of thing because I do think that there is some value in doing that. You know, if
I don't believe in Bitcoin that much.
No, but I mean,
love Bitcoin. Go get
look, for someone to say Bitcoin's going to 200,000, that's a double from here.
No, that I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's not unbelievable. I mean,
75% of your
portfolio. Well, Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean,
that's the difference.
That just shows strong belief.
That is very strong
in the play. So I'm fine. I'm fine with that. It's more just like, can it double? For everybody that thinks like, can Bitcoin double from here? I mean, we're looking at different stocks. You know, Tesla's already doubled from this level. Like, you know, in the past, its high is 480. You know, Palantir went up 7 times last year. You know, like there are opportunities. We're just talking about your Bitcoin here, Joe.
It went from $90.
Right, and that went up 5 times. Yeah, Netflix went up 5 times.
5 times
from where it is as well.
So big cap tech stocks.
If we think, if you're going to say that, look, the days of exponential returns on Bitcoin is going to be over. But the idea here, right, exactly. That's what. Yeah, we're agreeing. Is that I think that if the market can start to drift higher, then you will see Bitcoin drift higher. And the question really is, do we think Bitcoin outperforms the S&P 500? Because most people are invested heavily in indexes.
Yes.
So if you're going to use Bitcoin as basically the crypto sort of index, right? I mean, altcoins will be one thing. I think that way you have to guess on which coins may work out. But if you do like Bitcoin and you think that it can have, I mean, on average, the S&P 500 returns about 12 to 13% over the last 25 years. So do we think Bitcoin can do that? You know, probably. I mean, it had a 10K move just last month. So we'll see what can happen there. The ebbs and flows of the market is real, no matter which asset you are looking at. So, yeah, we do a big shout out to the Bitcoin hodlers out there and wish them the best of luck. I only have 20 Bitcoins. So not for me, it's a light holding.
Well, I'm all in on.
Could you imagine?
I'm all in on Fartcoin.
Could you imagine if you just made, like, at one point in my life, I probably did have. Probably 10 Bitcoin.
I don't want to think about the early mistakes made in crypto.
Yeah.
Because what's interesting about it is everyone always the line. Sorry, Sharif, this will take like 30 seconds. There's that whole like, oh, if we only put 10 grand into this, whenever, and then usually a lot. I mean,
Nvidia is a real story too.
And a lot of times for people, it's like, yeah, but at the time that would have happened, like, did you have the disposable, like, kind of whatever. I'll never forget it with crypto because I remember being at a buddy's wedding when one of our really conviction in crypto was talking it up.
Convicted criminal.
At the time, could have done it, didn't do it. You try not to get the FOMO. Let's talk about.
But the thing, okay, but here's the thing. Come to my screen here about Palantir. So we can always have excuses about crypto and this and that, and I'm in the same boat, right? But here's Palantir. A year ago. You know, this is actually not even a year ago. Well, it's more than a year ago. This is January of 24. So right there, Palantir was $15. So right there, you're 7x in a year, in 15 months. So there you go. If you put in 20 grand into Palantir, you're at 150 grand today. And this is just, and this is just one stock. There's lots of stocks like this. So
stocks can give it to you.
Yeah,
I was more talking about the whole like 25 cents.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's an IPO thing, right? I mean, then we could go back and look at where, AMD was 10 years ago, it was $2, and that went to 250.
Exactly. Like
So
it's the very
pick
beginning.
And choose the right.
And that's sort of the idea.
Sharif,
I have a funny feeling one of those
Sharif
is going to be on the list. What we just talked about. Sharif?
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone. The show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, you just heard them. They're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. The only way to get those tickers up there is to join Joseph and I on the How to Trade Midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers. But you gotta be a subscriber in order to vote and engage with us, so make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. New screen setup, guys. We'll look at the 4 major averages to start. The NQ performing the best of the bunch right now, up 2.5%, followed here by the, I believe that is the SPY, up 1.9%. Not a bad look here for small caps either. The Russell 2000 up 1.87, the Dow lagging behind them all, but green on the day nonetheless, up 1%. Good look for these markets on the day. The first ticker, obviously, as decided by you guys, TSLA always seems to make its way up there. Decent day today for Tesla, stronger day yesterday, obviously 2% in the green. They did release this headline today, though. Elon Musk, Tesla and company releasing a let's just say, a rollout version of Robotaxi specifically for their employees out in Austin and San Francisco. About 1,500 rides completed, guys. 15,000 miles total.
Good to see some progress there, no questions asked. We're happy about the Robotaxi. We're happy that Elon's back to work. Ideally, well, more time back to work, focusing on Tesla. Gonna be happy to see. Look, I think the results are gonna matter more in the back half of the year because everyone cares about the tariffs right now. I think we'll go with that. Because it wasn't a good report, and we're inside a couple of days. I have some trades off VWAP there. I think I was a little more patient with it today than yesterday. And what's weird about it is my plan of action was be patient, only take trend breaks instead of like buying the dip. And then what happened today? Of course, it does the complete opposite, where like the literal wick bottom where you just sit there, get picked up, and then you're on for the ride, it does that instead. So it's like, what are you going to do? It wasn't that good. And then the clean moves off VWAP that you got yesterday, it was not clean again today. So everything that worked yesterday did not work today. Thankfully, when I get hit on Tesla, I get hit for a third of yesterday's trade because I wasn't nearly as aggressive or holding it against me, all that kind of stuff. But I'm long term, I haven't changed anything on my tone with the 220. I'm still holding what I bought there. I'm still holding everything that I had before. I'm no longer thinking I want to sell anymore up at the 280 level. I think we're turning the corner here on Tesla. I'm not completely convinced that we won't see the 180s like I was convinced we were going to see it before. The way that it's holding up after earnings is giving me a little bit of better feelings. And then throw on top of the fact that you're starting to hear some rhetoric from the administration that maybe some backing down is going to happen, responsive to the moves in the bond market. It makes me feel a lot better about Tesla at this 220 level again. So I think it's a hold for me from here. And maybe if we can break out the 50 or 200, you add on strength instead of on weakness, which has been the only way to add this year.
I just want to add some context to the last note there. Yo, Palantir, man. Chill out, my guy. I mean, Palantir right now is we had 91.50 on this 2 days ago. It's 107.50. All right. Tesla, yeah, we had marked down today, and we probably should have taken this. We had marked down 248. I mean, Neil just ran through some levels. That 248 was, it went to 249. We came pretty close. We actually wrote down, the more I look into this, It's crazy embarrassing, but 248 to 248, 240.50, 240.50, 248 to 250 is where we wrote down. So we just should have been, we nailed that bottom pretty much exactly, but didn't take the trade. So lesson learned, man. We should always be looking at Tesla, especially some of those levels. But from what happened yesterday, we got hit on the way down. So that was hard to take. I was waiting for a base, and it was too quick. It was down and up. So it didn't, if it would have hung out down here for even just like 2 more minutes, I would have been in it, but we weren't. So there goes Tesla. Again, I like the story. I'm surprised it's hanging up here today. If the market was down today or flat, I think Tesla would maybe be down. That's just a guess. You had a huge ride there into the close yesterday, I guess, where there's some sort of big imbalances. And then at the end of the day as well, we had to move down. So move down in the imbalances, then to move back up. So in and around here is where I kind of thought the proper pricing was, and that was 249. So yesterday's closing price looks like it holds amazingly. And so we'll have to take in consideration what today's closing price is when we're going to analyze Tesla for tomorrow's trade. But again, a great one. And I do think that we have to watch out for this top here. Still think it's a short up at 260. Just need that next leg of good news to break through. So for me, Tesla, like the stock, but I still think it's a short up here. And if we get up there today, we're going to do that. So 260 short on Tesla. Next play.
Today, guys, with Alphabet, of course. Good day for Intel today. Good day for all these microchip semiconductor names, all green on my watch list at least. 3.86 in the green today for Intel. Here's what we're expecting after the bell, guys. Either a penny or $0 per share for EPS. That's down from 18 pennies last year. Also, revenue expected to drop as well to 12.3 billion. These are expectations down from last year on the quarter, 12.72. We shall find out shortly.
Yeah, we'll find out after the bell. You got to like it when all you need to do is not lose money when you still have a big legacy business. Okay, just before we get to Intel, a little bit of a wick high here, SMCI. Remember we showed, I had zoomed out. It's a chip stock, so it counts. We had zoomed out and found the resistance here at 36.5 on the daily chart on SMCI. And we said, well, if you miss that trend break, which obviously we did, and then you get any kind of a wick top, I want to play the failure and look for the reversion short on SMCI. As that happened, Apple coming right back into the trend line. The prior high on Apple was 207, so I wanted to buy the dip into 207, and I realized I don't have a stop out. But I have to go over to Intel.
Keep going.
So I have to go over to Intel. It was about as unfortunate as it could get for me. We lost execution for a brief minute in this morning, and I was long on Intel. I ended up punching out when we got the execution back, and I should have got right back in when this held VWAP, but I'll be pretty candid about it. I trade some market-making stuff on the side. It's extremely problematic for me. We lose all of our orders and all that kind of stuff. And I picked today to double my default on a bunch of those stocks and then kind of get left hanging. So I was not focused on getting back into Intel at that moment because I had a bunch of other stuff to handle. But when everything came back, Intel holding trend line. Obviously, all of the chips are going to be really strong here today. The fact that expectations are so low and it's got a hard bottom in here on it, it's hard not to think, hey, you're favoring longs on Intel. Expectations are so low. It just has to not be bad for them after market today. And there's so much room to this local high up here at like 27, 28. So, if I was a betting man, I mean, obviously you'd be rather long in the teens because we all know where the bottom is on this stock. It's been 18, 19. But certainly it's close enough to that low that I figure it can go.
So VinFast closed 2024 with strong financial and operational performance, signaling big progress on its global EV journey. Q4 revenue reached $678 million, up 70% year over year and 34% quarter over quarter, reflecting robust demand and improving sales execution. 97,000 plus EVs delivered in 2024, including 53,000 in Q4 alone, a 192% increase year over year, underscoring traction across core and new markets. Progress on global expansion. 322 EV showrooms and 322 e-scooter showrooms now operational worldwide as of March of 25, including both VinFast owned and dealer operated locations. There's also green mobility ecosystem that they're building with continued deployment of V-Green charging infrastructure and growth of GSM electric ride hailing services in key Asian markets to drive long-term EV adoption. Check out VinFast, VFS, today. Yeah, thank you, VinFast. But Intel, again, I think it only goes up today, honestly. It's been a great little level there. I still want to hear about the CHIPS Act. Trump sort of got rid of that. Or I don't even know if he had, but he had talked about how it was maybe one of the worst acts that Joe Biden has ever signed, something like that. And now we only sign the greatest things ever. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening with Intel here overnight and right away at 4 o'clock. Intel, we're looking for that number. So looking for a positive EPS, that would be real nice if we can get that from Intel, and then more talk about their foundry. But it's been a great level. You know, you want to talk about going positive now on the month for the NASDAQ. We're pretty close to that. Intel just alone this week has gone from $18.20 to $21. So you're almost $22. So you're almost up like 15% here in a week on Intel. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of names that have gotten really excited. Intel is definitely one of them. So either someone knows something about the earnings coming up here today, or you've all been fooled a little bit. But that's a huge move over the last 4 days on Intel. So I'd say if you're heavily down here, get some out before earnings and let the rest ride. Maybe play with some house money. You never know where the report's going to come out. But Intel, congratulations if you've been buying that over the last week and a half.
All right, Google expecting results after the bell as well with Intel, or Alphabet, that is, up 2.13. Here's what we're expecting. Earnings of $2.01 per share. That'd be up from $1.89 last year on the quarter. On revenue, guys, of $89.15 billion. That would also be a noted increase from $80.5 billion, guys, Alphabet after the bell.
Yeah, I want to see how the advertising revenue is doing for them. That's going to be the big thing for me. It's not one that I've been looking to buy. I sort of said that this year, the things I was DCAing into, I got my ARM trade. We already talked about the Tesla 220, and Meta is something that I want to try to pick up on weakness. But speaking of that, well, if it looks like it's not going well in advertising for Alphabet, then you know it's like a wait and see on Meta next week for sure. I'd feel way better. Sometimes we were just talking about Intel. I'd feel way better about Alphabet if it wasn't already this decent bounce that we're seeing here, if that makes any sense. Like, you've got this big V shape in the last week that kind of puts you right to where it dumped off at the 160 level, and I'm just fearful like it's going to have some trouble getting to the 165. As you can tell, I'm in Apple because I like the upward trend. Google, Apple, I don't know if Amazon's, I was kind of hoping your chart would be up on Amazon, but there's
Amazon's ripping.
No, well, it's more this weird action that you see, this up and down action that you're seeing on the nice trend up. That's like low volume algos in control. And that's what was happening. It's more distinct on Apple. It's like, let's just go up and down and move the stock around. So I wanted it to hold a prior high. I don't know if it will. I'm going to get out if this breaks 207 because I think you test the bottom end of the channel. So I think Google's doing a version of that that's less extreme than Apple. And oftentimes, until you want it to do something different from this action before you get into it for a day trade. So it's compressing and not nearly as, I don't even know, like heartbeat or EKG, whatever you want to call that sort of price action. So it's compressing for a move going into earnings. But I'm going to stay away from it because it's not doing anything distinctly different just yet. Whereas when I went over to Apple, like it did this little channel, then broke it out. And I want to see the continuation as it tries to hold higher. So yeah, just kind of weird. You see that a lot of times with low volume. It's an algo-driven market, so it shouldn't really surprise anybody.
Yeah, I just tweeted this out here. You grabbing one of these guys? Trump 2028 hats.
How much?
Right now, $50 for the low price of $50. You can go grab one of these Trump 2028 hats.
You know what?
Wait a minute, third term.
I was going to grab one of those, but I can't because my $50 going to buy Sharif shoes.
Yeah, Sharif, are those still available, by the way, or?
Hold on a second.
No, I know, that's why we're asking you. I'm asking you the same message. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There he goes. Hey, you got another pair of those boots? I like those shoes there. Those are some tap shoes over there. See what happens around here? You know, Sharif gets off the air, and now we're all...
What does that say? You can read it.
Where? Are they still available? In all seriousness, they're sold. Let's do this.
And then what does it say?
Offer sent. So you sent an offer. Neil sent an offer to you, Sharif.
No, I'm buying... Yes. What part of you guys can't read this? Is this what? Is this still available?
I thought it was a joke.
In all seriousness, they are sold. Let's do this. Then I sent an offer to Sharif, the seller. Of course.
You guys have the same shoe size?
Yeah, we're both.
All right.
Well, I'm usually of an app, but it'll work. If you're watching the market recap show, you know what's up. You know what's up. Let's go talk about SMCI.
All these chips, guys, they're all strong on the day. As I mentioned during the Intel segment, all of them up and to the right, none red on my watch list anyway. As you can see, their overall strength in semiconductors as a result of a good March durable goods order, as well as President Donald Trump confirming that there actually were talks with China today. China coming out yesterday and rebutting Donald's statement yesterday that there were back-channel discussions.
So the shoes are not available then?
No, they're not. They're
actually. I was going to send a message myself, but I see that they're not available anymore. All right. So yeah, we called this up on the early show here today, and I was like, what? When we were going through some of those names that were ripping, and SMCI did not stop. Like I was impressed when it was here during the midday or during the open, and then all of a sudden it just kept on climbing. So SMCI, again, sometimes it's so bad it's good. This name has gone through quite the year. Oh no, our chart's going to do this. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen after the split. But pretty okay. I mean, considering some of the ebbs and flows of this stock, it looks like right now you're looking to break back above this $37 mark. And if you can get that $37.50 to be that high there, not sure if Sharif mentioned when they report, but I think that would be something else to look at the next time they do report. But if you're looking at a trade today, this blue line right here is VWAP. So VWAP, held, and now you're all the way to the upside. So lesson learned, May 6th. Okay, so 2 weeks away. A little bit more than that. We'll see about SMCI earnings. A play there if you're going into the racks and all that kind of stuff. Also, Dell has had a nice little comeback. Look at this move for Dell today as well, straight to the upside. So lots of different names starting to move other than Mag 7, but have relationships with the tech space, right? I mean, another name that I wanted to look at too was going to be Oracle. I think there's some opportunities there to trade that name to the long side as well. But yeah, right there, Dell also making that move. I mean, I've already said this about Intel. I'll say this about everything else. That move from the bottom on so many names has just been so impressive that it'd be nice to get a deal from China. It'd be nice to get a deal from all these places. But right now, we're kind of still in the same area other than like rumors. So if you are nervous about anything coming into earnings, which is why I asked about SMCI with May 6th, I think it's time to piece something out just because of that run that we've been on over the last couple of weeks. So that's a little my take there. I don't know what you think about SMCI so far today.
Well, look, it went a little parabolic lately there. That's why when I said this, we're going to take this to the short side, it was just more about how far we've gone and then this price action. The daily charts got resistance up there, so I agree with Sean. If you got this much of a bounce and you have resistance on the daily with a couple of weeks to go and no deals struck, then why not ring the Reggie a little bit here? I've never owned SMCI, and I've never really had any desire to. The roller coaster last year was insane. You don't think you'll ever see anything like that. But it was a double top. There's your wick high. Once it broke underneath this, there's your wick top. There's the next bar. When it broke the next bar, I then took it short, and we just got some out there at first resistance. I'm looking for a reload here right now at 36.25. We'll see. I might decide this is too strong to want to reload it. But to that point, this daily chart, oh yeah, that's right. Zoom in, zoom out. This daily chart, like if it breaks out, there's a lot of room for it to go. But even then, you got big resistance at the 42 level. So it's got multiple legs that this thing could run through. Yeah, it's been a good one today. I don't know why specifically is so much stronger than everything else. Like I thought it was ARM that was doing the best job in the chips, up 6 2/3, but SMCI even more parabolic.
I just want to show something funny here because this just goes, it fits the sort of Trump, like what we've been seeing so far here today, or so far here, his thing. Look at this. Due to high demand, you know, this is what I mean. It's like so many people want me to run 2028, but also this hat is so much in high demand that we've got to allow 5 to 10 business days to process the order prior to shipping. So not only maybe this hat may take a while to come to you, but you got to allow a week to 10 business days to actually get shipped. So there we go right there. But it is made in, is it though? Made in America though, Sharif, you know, it still takes 5 to 10. No, this is the process.
Come on.
So this is not to ship.
That would be the best thing ever if it was.
Yeah. So anyway, if it said made in China, I would die.
I would die.
That would be the best. So we'll have to wait to see. But anyways, I just posted that on there because I thought it was funny with what we're talking about. You know, I don't plan on getting that. He can't run in 2028 as far as I know. That's why I think I think it's a joke. I think it's funny.
They didn't always have the term restrictions in the U.S. That was something that got voted in, and it can get changed. You need a two-thirds vote, and you could do that. So it is possible. Look, man, we're Canadian. I don't know that much about American history and politics.
I don't want to say anything.
But when I do know something, then we're going to throw it out there. So it is actually possible, everybody. But two-thirds vote would seem to be a little bit difficult to pull off. That has nothing to do with SMCI.
Or Palantir.
Or Palantir. But
we got to chill with Palantir, though.
Yeah, chill, bro. 6.6% for Palantir, up and to the right, well over $100. Again, guys, good look. There's no specific catalyst today for Palantir, but like with the overall chips running stronger on March, strong durable goods orders and economic data, as well as President Donald Trump saying that they spoke with certain Chinese individuals today. This headline came from yesterday, though, so this is a market-moving one. Shares were climbing yesterday for Palantir after they teased a little collaboration with Northrop Grumman, guys, on X. Northrop Grumman, obviously an arms maker.
Yeah, an arms maker that took it on the chin yesterday, NOC. So there's a distinct difference between Palantir and the other defense names. We'll just give them that. Hey, Northrop Grumman didn't make a
battle back today.
It didn't make a fresh low. Worth a watch. So I just want to show a few charts if that's okay. Northrop, we can come to my chart. There you go.
That shouldn't even be there.
Dumped on earnings, actually holding a higher low. Maybe you can look at like a Lockheed Martin as well, which I'd say is doing a little bit better. Remember last week we were talking about this 420 level on Lockheed. Feels like the worst is in for them. So they're doing a little bit better.
Your own reload
trying to break out. I think it's holding this week above the 50-period moving average.
All right, bro.
After post earnings holding the low. And then you have the difference, which is Palantir. Now traditional military funding might be shifting and changing. Well, they're the new, I guess. Shout out to Ryan Leslie, good song. And it's doing that thing where, see how like I took the shot on SMCI, and for now it's working. But when Palantir goes linear to the upside, I've learned that you don't want to try to fade it. You needed to do something crazy. Usually it's like a big parabolic candle, like through the high, and then some kind of crazy reverse, and then it comes on the other end. But when it's going linear like this, and what I mean by linear is just a straight 45-degree angle, very, very steady, it's really dangerous to short. So anyone that's looking at it, like I'm not looking at reversion, like SMCI did this, like bigger, massive candle, red candle on the 15, let's go short. Palantir does something like that, then yeah, you take a shot at a short trade. The incredible Mr. Lib, Palantir has a beautiful cup and handle playing out on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, there you go. I don't look at a 4-hour time frame, but good look. It's well above that $100 level. I don't even know where the dip buy would be at this point. Being real.
I just can't. I mean, 2 days ago, like I was saying, man, we had 91.50 on Palantir. Like that was just 2 days ago. And now you're up to 107. I mean, just the movement in this name alone over the last couple weeks, or last week, has just been like, that's $70 to 107. So like that's 50%, you know, $40 on 70. Like That's more than 50% of a move higher there in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trading days, 58% up. Like that's just a huge move. And of course we're cherry picking because we're taking that exact bottom. But even if you just go back 2 days, you know, we were long here, we were long yesterday, and then today we had written down on our book here to get long on dips and looking between 100 and 101 for the long, right? And so I came in unconvinced this morning, and I told the story about how Sharif asked me, like, which way are we going? And I was like, I don't really know. I want to wait to see what's going on. So, you know, we put our bid there. We put 101. We put 100 to 101 today as a dip buy. It goes to 101. It goes to $100.91. So, I mean, we should have taken it, but it was the very first opportunity. You could have had it early. That was the play. That was the play that I liked, and I didn't take it. It's the same story as Tesla. I wish I had more conviction on the longs today, but wow. I am very, very confident with trading Palantir. We nailed it yesterday on a break of $101 rate, no, $100 break right there yesterday, and then it mooned up to 104 as well. So we did have that play, and I think we had something here in the afternoon, but I'm not sure, maybe not. Anyways, Palantir just continues. Look at that VWAP hold. So a lot of stocks. We saw SMCI. Probably the whole market made this little dip into VWAP and then just ripped. So yeah, big surprise there. Palantir up 7%. Really on air. I mean, there's always going to be stories with defense. There's always, I mean, there's these stories just continue, right? And so the important, I mean, we're still going to keep talking about this, but I think the important thing to understand is earnings season. So thanks. Yeah, we're done the rundown. Good. We'll get rid of that. I just want to see here, when does Palantir report? They're always in the middle. So we'll have a quick look here to see. They're stuck in the middle with that report. Okay, so where is it? There it is, confirmed 11 days from now on May the 5th. So may the 4th be with you on that day. And then after that, you'll have Palantir. And then as Sharif so eloquently brought to us, SMCI on May the 6th. So a couple big runners, back-to-back jacks there, like Jose Bautista and Josh Donaldson. Hey, does what's his name, Vladdy, only have one home run? Or does he have more? No, I'm asking that. I'm just.
Why you always got to bring up
what?
Depressing stuff?
The guy that's making 700 million Canadian? Yeah, I was just wondering how many home runs. I think he only has one, doesn't he? Or I'm not.
He's having a bit of a power outage right now.
And then what about the guy that we spent all that money on, Santander?
It's not going too well.
Oh, it's not going too well. I'm not trying to be. I heard, because I don't watch it as much as you do, that Vlad just has one home run.
He has only one home run. I also, look, I dominate my fantasy baseball pools, but everybody knows I'm a bit of a homer because I have season tickets to the Toronto Blue Jays. And the second they signed that Santander guy, some dude was in my inbox, and I'm like, yeah, let's go get him. I made like the worst trade you could even imagine. Okay. This is why I try not to ever bet on the Blue Jays and the Buffalo Bills because I'm way too much of a homer.
As you know about Santander, though, he's a late bloomer.
He's a really slow starter.
Yeah. So if I was in your pool, I'd be trying to acquire him from you.
But I would never trade him. I know. If I was smart, I would have waited till he got a slow start. And then you buy high, sell, buy low, sell high. Our buddy in our fantasy football league, he likes to buy high and sell low.
There's a couple buddies.
Shout out to you, Zane.
There's a couple buddies in our football pool that also just like to rip other people off and don't really trade it with other people other than them.
Well, that's
football pools.
That's a skill.
It is a skill. It's a negotiation tactic.
In the way
it's like the art of the deal making.
And that's the way that I see it. We have a guy in our league who will always find the 2 weakest GMs, and he will just trade with them. And so what? It works for him. I don't do it, but let's go back to the market for a quick little second. First, Apple's breaking high of the day. I should start with SMCI because it's right back. SMCI, we got a bit out at 35.9, and it came right back in. I elected not to reload this, but if Apple... Okay, we're going to go to Darren in a quick little second, but I just wanted to go over to the 15-minute on Apple to show you where we're at here. This is yesterday's high. If we fail this high, I'm trailing out of Apple right here. I don't like breakouts in the afternoon, especially if there's any news that we're hearing.
We do have a little bit of news on Meta, not likely to be super market moving here, but I think definitely worth noting, especially during earnings season. Meta reports next week, and The Verge reporting that Meta is laying off some of its Reality Labs workers, specifically some of the teams behind the apps for Meta Quest, including Supernatural. Apparently, Meta, according to this report, is saying that the changes are going to help them focus on future mixed reality projects. But we do still have lower Quest sales, though apparently the actual smart glasses space is doing well. So MetaQuest still struggling here in their sales. And we have Meta apparently, reportedly, according to The Verge, announcing some layoffs in the Reality Labs space. Back to you.
Harvest peach, yeah. You go get the peach. I'm going to get the peach after. Neil wants to go get a...
I'm just going to go grab a tea. And there was a tea that Sean got that was so delicious like a few weeks ago, and I'm going to go.
No, it was way longer than that, but it was, I think it's the
way
peach.
longer than that.
There's a Jolly Rancher tea?
Not Jolly Rancher.
Yeah. There is a good one. I think it's Neil's gone to go get it. I think it's the peach one there. So, all right, thanks about Meta. Look, I mean, Meta, another name that I don't want to talk only about Mag 7 names or anything like that, but Meta, a big move again, up 2.5%, just straight fire right now. 230 up to 230, 530 up to 532, and this name. We talked about some of those other moves, right? Palantir being up 50%, so on and so forth. You know, I really think that there's some opportunities here for Meta to even get a lot higher than where we are right now. So Meta still has an opportunity to go. They're going to report, I believe, next week. So we'll be able to find out where what they're thinking. And I'm not sure Meta is affected by tariffs whatsoever. So this could be a play there. The only thing about Meta would be the advertising revenues of different companies. Like if Coca-Cola or Nike or any of these big companies are a little nervous about the future, right? Maybe they'll cut back on ad spend. And if they do that, then Instagram and Meta, I don't know if anybody advertises on Facebook anymore, but I'm sure they do. But Meta, I mean, look, this has been, I mean, I might have to just look at this daily chart. This is like a crazy move down. You still haven't, it's like right now, I kind of get the feeling, which is why I don't want to like stamp bids on everything right here, which is actually why I think Joe's idea about Bitcoin isn't that bad. Meta, like the ups and down here that we've seen in individual stocks is quite insane. Like what's saying that this isn't about to happen again? Like you might have thought the bottom was there at 580, it goes up to 620, you get that FOMO 630, 640, and all of a sudden it's like whoops, down to the 200 again. Oh, maybe I'll average in again. Whoops, and then you lose that and you lose $80 as fast as you can. Then it gets all the way back up. You're like, oh, okay, well I didn't buy the bottom, so let me whoops, and then all the way back in again. So for me, this 580 is going to be pretty important. Until we get above $600, then I am a little bit weary of buying any Meta right now. But if you think there's a bottom trade, then 480, 450, going all the way back into here of the summertime, it's a great stock. It can get going. We had something like 22 straight up days, but that was followed by 22 straight down days. And I just say that, metaphorically, it's not. There are some up days in there, but you wouldn't feel like that if you're in the name. Trust on that. So yeah, nice downside move, nice downside as we continue to go. Walter Goggins. Oh yeah, that was pretty good. Thanks, Neil. I didn't even realize that. Oh, that Walter Goggins dude here, he's at Righteous Gemstones, he's White Lotus. Saturday Night Live, May 10th. You know who that guy is? No. Yes, you do.
No, the only Goggins...
You know who he is.
The only Goggins I know is David Goggins.
All right, hold on a second.
Who's Walter Goggins? Just one quick thing. I did trail out.
Have you not seen Gemstones?
On Apple. No, I haven't.
What the hell? You're missing so many things, man. Stop watching Yo Gabba Gabba.
I did add this to my list. Oh, I know this guy.
Yeah, man.
He was in
Unchained?
Okay, this is bad, but
The Hateful Eight?
He was in one of the worst.
Fallout?
He was in one of the worst of the Major League movies, Back to the Minors.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Character, they call him Downtown. No, but he was also in something that I just watched.
He's only 53 years old, man. He doesn't look good for that.
It was like a spy show that I watched, and he was in it.
Anyways.
I don't remember what. It doesn't really.
The guy's hilarious.
No, he's good. He's good. I gotta check my DM.
I love White Lotus.
Very quickly, I did trail out of Apple at that 208. I am not reloading SMCI at the high. It either works or it doesn't. Like at this point, I either want it breaking down here and giving me another leg down. It's binary. Either breaks 36.30 and I get out, which is about 15 cents worth of risk, a little more because there'll be slippage, or we get the breakdown underneath. So we got some out better than 1-to-1, and we want the big flush. Oh, and I'm still in, let me just see this. Yeah, 35 is yesterday's high. I want to be out well before that on SMCI. I think you can catch a bid. And I'm still in end phase, which it never broke that high from yesterday.
You're
unfazed? It's been short. It won't break more than like 50, 60 pennies in the money, but it also hasn't broken the top, so I'm kind of sticking with that one. So we'll see what happens over there with Apple. maybe we get another chance at a dip buy on this. If it can hold like the prior trend line top, I'm just looking for it to come back in here and hold and maybe get a bit of another bid in there. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to say just regarding trading, because this happened to me today. And it's an important one. I've said this is something we've talked about with other traders before. Whenever you're trading on a day-to-day basis, you always pick a day where it's like, okay, well, this has been working and you want to like scale up. So you're like, oh, my default on this is X, make it 1.5X, whatever it might be. What can happen to you on that first day is the day that you assign new risk to a strategy just happens to be a bad day, and then all of a sudden it's just a bigger loss than normal. What you have to be willing to do is come back the next day and still trade at that higher default because you went up there for a reason. And it's really easy to be like, oh crap, I lost the first time I went up, I have to go back. Anyways, that happened to me and some other stuff today, and I got away with it, which I shouldn't have. That's another story. But yeah, we're gonna stick with the things that are working. I like Apple long, I like Enphase short, SMCI, I'm iffy about because I feel when you're trend trading or when you're trend reversal trading, you want that to work. It's supposed to work right away. It's not supposed to be let's bounce and make a higher low at first support levels. So I'm not going to be adding to that bad boy anytime soon. And let's go to Adara.
Here's Nike. I'm not seeing any news on Nike, but there was a bit of a volume spike for this one. It is worth noting there's some talk on X, people just saying, oh, Nike's moving, Nike's moving. No news again. Worth noting Nike pushing to days highs right now with some volume, NKE on watch. If I see any news, I'll let you know. But this just seems to be social media driven. Back to you.
All right, thank you.
We like some Nike.
Miss Adara.
Oh, no. My Nike shirt.
Amazon's $5 in the money. We're just taking another piece out right now of Amazon. I mean, we've let this thing go all day to the upside here, and it's just like even if you hold a crumb, I mean, it's still really good. So there's Amazon up 3%. Now it's up with the market, but it's just continuously going here. And this was a name that I said earlier, I was like, I wanted to buy Amazon, and I didn't do it. So nice day there for Amazon. Still trying to go there now. Upside. All right, whoopsies. That's what happens when you zoom down a bit. All right, let's go. When I move, you move. Yeah, just like that, Zion. All right, so we'll look at that. That's Amazon. And then the other name here I want to look at too. Let's have a look at some of the more recent IPOs and some of the ones that have been moving a lot. Okay, so Webull. And wow, down 9% today, Webull. Okay, so I mean, this name continues to get hit there. There was that story by now famed Fox reporter Charles Gasparino, about Webull and their China connection. So I was actually surprised that this had gotten up. I mean, look, it's a recent IPO, but there's the gap. There it is again. This has only had about 10 days of trade underneath it, but yeah, still making moves back down. And I always think that you're always coming back around to test
if it gets
the
back
IPO
to
price.
10.
Yeah, if it gets back to the IPO price and you could get it again for that ride back up.
I'd take that all day, I think.
And then the CoreWeave, I think, is a little bit of a stronger position. If you were into CoreWeave, I think you'd feel a little bit better about this. It didn't really have it did have the over-exuberant IPO issue there, but it's come back and given you a decent area there. So, when you're looking for some stocks to trade and some sort of strength or weakness, you want to see it try to hold its initial go, and that was 39, I think it was, came out, $39. So we did come in. Look, I mean, a lot of things get blasted lower, right? I mean, we talked about how good the IPO of ARM has been, how good Reddit has been. Obviously, we're talking about some of these have fallen back in now, but they've all broke through their IPO price. So it's not a surprise there that CoreWeave did that. Maybe a little surprised at how fast that came back in and sort of how orderly it was not. 2 moves down, then again, like a 10% move higher there from 46 to 50. Then we went from 50 all the way down to 43. Then we went from 43 back to 48. Then the very next, this is almost like if these candles are each like 7-8%, if not more than that. Like what was going on with it on these days? 48, back down to 43, back to 48, down to 43 again. Then you make that move back up to 48 again, and now straight down. Now you're trying to get back. So I think CoreWeave actually, even at this level, can probably be bought with.
When's their first report?
Yeah, it's probably a good question. I don't know when they're reporting, but no time soon, I don't think. Neil's going to look that up.
I'm just going to look it up.
All right, that's fine. Power Hour in 10 minutes. So tonight we do have Google and Intel. I did want to look at Intel again. I'd already said that I think Intel is going to be a winner tonight. So we'll wait to see where that goes, and we'll bring you all the numbers as Adair and myself will be there on. Sharif was uncertain if he was staying tonight, but he's not now. Okay, I think it's a bigger night than Tesla, but Intel and maybe not. It doesn't matter. Me and Madera will rock the after show. We want to thank Sharif for staying with us a couple days ago. Intel 4%, nice move there. What are we expecting from Intel? An EPS of 0. So if they can just show us that they're not losing money, that would be great. Revenue, it's amazing that you can have an EPS of 0, but a revenue of 12 billion. That's kind of what we're looking for. The implied move is over 8%. I think that might be a little light, to be honest with you, but its last move was only 3%. So Intel, we'll find out where that's going later on tonight. Then we have T-Mobile, we have Google, Gilead coming through as well. We watched Handmaid's Tale yesterday. That's the name of the dystopian, the guys that are taking it over there. I don't know, the faction. I don't know what you call them. But Google, yeah, just a group there. So Google, looking for that report as well. They're looking to make $2 per share on EPS, and this looks like everything looks pretty sweet today. I mean, we talked about that VWAP bump right there. You could have had that. And then T-Mobile, you know, the comm sector has been pretty hot. So I haven't even looked. What? This is $260? Okay. I didn't know that. But I mean, it's been here for a while, so I haven't looked at it. But chart. Yeah, you think? I mean, this is what we've been talking about with them for a minute here on T-Mobile. I mean, they've been really producing, honestly, man. I mean, we saw the communications sector was the #1 sector in 2024. And you can see why. 161 at the beginning of 24 to end the year in and around 250. Nice move there for T-Mobile. So we'll see if they can hold that bid as well. It's going to be a spicy one for sure. Adara? Neil?
Well, it's a spicy one on T-Mobile. It'll be a spicy one tonight in the NFL draft. And if you're into that sort of a thing, then if you want top-tier odds and total control, well, ProfitX brings you peer-to-peer picking, open API access for automation, and cost-efficient trading all in one place. Day trading your favorite sports. Make offers, match plays, and even manage your risk with diverse prediction options. Don't just place picks, exchange them. ProfitX is a smarter and faster way to play. If you use the code TraderTV, you'll get the sign-up offer, 2% cash back up to $300. And then if you're like myself and watching the NFL draft tonight in between, well, you watch it at the same time as the hockey game. The NFL draft, you can just throw it up on my phone.
5 minutes between picks.
Like, it's all the analysis and then each pick. But you want to see, I think, Shador Sanders, Dion's son, is going to not go in the top 10.
Ooh.
Well, it's 8.5 actually, so whatever. It's
over
not
8.5.
You can get on the no side of that, and the best part about it is you can sit outside to try to get yourself better odds. Now, will you get swept up when it's plus 600? Will you get swept up at 200? I think that's pretty unlikely, but you never really know. You could always just make, like, you could make a different price if you wanted to put that in there. It would be. I was kind of hoping you'd see Jackson. Where's Jackson?
Wait a minute. Who's going Jackson? First overall?
Oh, Ward's going #1.
So then, yes, over 1.5. Yeah, we want to know, right? Yeah. So that's not there. Yeah.
So like you're looking at the guy I want to see is right here, like Jackson Dart, over under 25.5. I think that's kind of bunk because the Saints quarterback is hurt and the Saints pick at 22 or 21. So either they get him or someone jumps in front. So I feel like this guy is going underneath that. I think he's going to go in the 20, 21 range. Jackson. I'm not a big fan of his, but it doesn't really matter what I think. It's what the NFL guys think. Okay, so a lot of people have asked me about OMEX and RDFM. Seen it in the chat. OMEX, penny stock. Here's what's good about it. 230 million shares worth of traded today. If you were trading a penny stock, this is what you want to see. Right? Because that allows the type of liquidity and movement that you can just pretend this is 8, and that's 8.10, and that's $8.50. Just move a decimal place, and you can just think of it exactly the same way. And there's liquidity that allows you to trade it in that same fashion. What I don't like is it's underneath VWAP at Power Hour. And it's underneath your morning dip buy spot, which has held support at that $8 level, or 8 cent level. See, I just did it to myself. So it's Get rid of that because at 3 o'clock I get the same thing, even though I don't trade Australia. Probably entitled for the market, probably the issue. So the other thing to consider here is it's failed a buck, and I'm not a huge fan of things the day they fail the dollar. Like it rejected the dollar move and is trending down underneath. I'm never usually a big fan of that. You get a lot of selling when that happens, people that bought into it. So you want to see maybe continuation on like a day two. But that's just something, it's like an old rule for mine, and I was more of a penny stock trader 15, 20 years ago. So take that with a grain of salt. And RDFN, I couldn't find anything really exciting about Redfin when it was being asked about in the chat. Blue Ocean always comes up first in the drop down. I'm really going to have to wait. All right, there you go. That goes away, and then we can actually get RDFN up here. It's a good-looking chart. Remember what we said about Palantir, where it was very linear? That's exactly what you're getting at. And then finally, it showed you something at 925. Like a real level at 925, where you can bounce off of. What I really like about this, knowing little bit, it's like a real estate something company. I don't like that space right now. That aside, it's closing the 200 period and breaking a consolidation. From a technical standpoint, this is a good close that if it can hang on to $9, that's a really tight stop. If you really were convicted, you'd put it at 8. I never would because I don't like the space. That looks pretty solid. It's a breaking trend, holding the 200 period. I hope they don't report tonight or anything like that because I would throw all of that out the window. But it's for a day trade. It's not doing nearly enough volume this afternoon. Don't want to step on that one at all. But we want to jump back to Apple for a quick little second because we did get out of it, and it's now just going sideways. The market's still grinding higher. I don't see any red candles in the last half an hour or so in the last hour on the NASDAQ. Like you're all green candles grinding slowly higher. Apple is just going sideways off this top. I wanted to get out, look for a retest of that trend line. Ideally, don't catch the falling knife. Whether it works or not, executions here are better than here on the big down candle. Sometimes you leave the bid in front of the prior high because that's where you want to buy it, but it is, to me, better to get it on the other end. You get the same price after it's already shown you a bounce, and then your stop placement can be a little bit better. That's what I'm looking for in Apple. Want to buy that dip. SMCI is coming back. It's binary at this point. Still same range on SMCI. There's your top. Hasn't broken the 35.9 bottom. You could scalp it. Suppose now it's looking much better for a scalp trade, but we're just hanging on to see what we can get. Airy Pages is a good one. When trade positions work in my favor, I feel absolutely jubilant. Even the smaller trades trigger jubilance within me. You've got to do you. And that's what I always think, like, you've got to be yourself. I'll be candid. I'm like literally the opposite. There was a moment like a few months ago on the floor where like I got up. I don't really show emotion, but I got up and I like stomped off the stage or something. And it was Sharif or something asked me to describe what the trade just happened. And I literally just made like the biggest trade that week. But I was mad at myself because I took a half of what I should, and I had done it twice in a row because I got faked out by something in the book. So I basically had risked too much to still make well, but I didn't make enough because I got tricked on the tape, which really teed me off because I thought I was reading the tape pretty well on the stock. And I was like, it didn't matter whether I won or lost. I was just like, man, I just got bamboozled even though I just won because I could have had twice as much. I just get caught up in the analysis part of it. That's the way I sort of always look at things. So I'm like, what is the next thing available to me? I usually get more wrapped up on the decision-making process, like what should I or shouldn't I have done, that kind of thing. But you've got to be yourself. It takes too much mental energy to not be yourself. You have to try not to be yourself, and that's wasted mental capital, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what I want to do with Amazon. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, that's what the whole thing about, trading the right style and trading what's comfortable for you. Trading earnings is comfortable for many people. And tonight, I know we've already sort of talked about this. We'll have the weekly calendar out tomorrow for next week. So if you're interested in that, get ready. That's coming out tomorrow. But yeah, here tonight, look at this. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. This is not me on a golf course here. This is what's happening tonight. So, I mean, yeah, big time movements happening later on tonight in this market. So we will look to that and say thank you to Adara for posting all this up, because this information is priceless. You want them all to hit. You want to know when they're going to hit. And remember, when all these carts start coming through, there's only one spot that's going to literally, and it's going to be me or Neil, whoever's on. Tonight's me, but whoever's on, we'll show you the level 2. We'll show you what's going on here with the charts live. So no matter if you're in any of those 4 names, Google, Intel, T-Mobile, or Gilead, you want to make sure that you do check that out with us tonight, and we'll be rocking and rolling with the after-market recap. And I believe Steve Tileman from Trade the Pool fame will be coming through later on, where I will ask him everything.
Ask him this.
We'll just see. Sure, what do you want me to ask the guy? I always run out of things to ask him.
Jan Lossy just asked us the question, so let's defer it to.
An hour from now, yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, I can ask him this too.
What could be the best performing sector 2025 in your opinion? I do like that question. What's hilarious about that is I can't say that I feel the same. Look, what I felt at the beginning of the year before all the tariff stuff, it's hard for me to, because I told my love was for XLF, right? I was like, I like the financials this year. That anytime you have risk of recession, it does change your mind a little bit. And so I'm going to assume we're talking about from this point on. Because,
we don't want to cherry pick.
Because we can't cherry pick from the beginning of the year. And so I do like from this point on, it has not been good for healthcare. I think it can be good for healthcare. That said, I've never been the healthcare ETF person. I like to pick individual names, which is a bit tricky. I do like healthcare. It's the problem with that is it'll never be the best performing if a deal gets done. What are you going to do? Because if a deal gets done, then the answer is going to be semis. And you have to somehow price that in. So if I liked XLF more at the beginning of the year, I don't know if I can make that same call right now, despite the fact that I'm still dip buying XLF. But I do like some healthcare. I think it's a good safe play if these things don't get wrapped up as quickly as we.
So I'll go with energy, because I just think that if there is no recession, then and again we can pick from. We're saying we're going to pick from now. So I just think that not only does it look great on a chart, but by XLE, I think that there's a good opportunity for this one to at least go 10% back into the 200 period moving average.
Not Sean's screen.
No, that's Adara's screen, but Adara's working on something.
I was wondering what was happening there, actually.
Yeah, I'm working on something undercover. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I just think that energy here, if there's going to be no recession and there's a deal with China, let's get that production back up. And when production's back up, oil goes up. So we'll hopefully that gets done. And then you also have the potential with that Ukraine ceasefire, Russia ceasefire possibly. Don't add us for that. I don't know. But that could be something. And then, you could get into precious metals or just say gold. But I think if we're going from now, it's just had such a big run. So I'm going to stay with energy, but I've been buying some XPI. So I also do think that there is some potential here in biotechs. Crypto? Yeah.
Well, Bitcoin specifically. Is it a sector? Do we now call crypto a sector? That's fair.
No, I don't think it's a sector.
It's not no. Because there's no that's the thing. It's not like a business. I get it.
It's not really
it doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't think it counts. You guys, will crypto eventually? They have it up on CNBC like it's like an index. Yeah. They have like the Bitcoin price scrolling around.
Because you can't put it with commodities. That's not fair. It should be its own.
Yeah, it's not a currency, right? That's for sure. I just think it's an asset class.
Yeah, it's an asset class.
So I would say that if I was going to choose gold, then you could choose Bitcoin, kind of the same way maybe. Anyways, yeah, that's an interesting question. All right, so yeah, nat gas. I'm just choosing energy in general. There is another one, URA. Again, as we talk more about AI and things like that, everything needs to get powered. So there could be some uranium plays moving forward as well, up 3.9%, sorry. SMR, we've talked about that as a possible name. There's NNE, which is nuclear, nanonuclear. This is NuScale. talk about like ebbs and flows of emotions. SMR some days down 8%, today up 7%. That could be a good one. And then JP Morgan, just far as a stock, that's doing well today as well, up 1.4% as some of the financials start to kick it a little bit. So that's good, man. But for one individual stock, I'm wondering what could be a good play as an individual stock. Nah, I still like Palantir. Palantir moving forward. DraftKings has had a nice bid underneath it, as has Robinhood since some of those garbage bottoms. I think this got to 28 or so. Doesn't look as good as, 29.50. Actually has not got going. Didn't realize it was basically flat today. I thought we had a little bit more than that. So DraftKings, I think, is a good potential as well. Look, the market's right here. As we talk about different opportunities, the market's given the shorts a decent opportunity.
Nvidia's starting to go.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that we were able to claw out of our way here of Amazon. I'm going to get out. I'm going to put the stop in right now. We haven't broke the 200 period at all today. I'm going to forget about the open. It's tough to look at these levels on the open because the strategy for me now is to not get destroyed off the open. And a way to do that is by trying to follow some of these lines and then them just not working. And then it's like, wow, like a 50-cent move turns into a $2 move off the open, like real quick. So that's a problem, but it hasn't broke it. We got right into there. We didn't break it. So for me, if we zoom in on Amazon, just to get rid of our last 2.5%, right there, that would be 185.25. So I'm going to go to 185.20. So if we break down below 185.20, I think I canceled my stop a while ago, yeah. So here you go, 180, because my stop was so low. 185.19, we'll just get out 100%. If it does break, we'll put that order out and wait for that to happen. That way we don't have to monitor it, okay? So that's what we're doing right now. We're looking at those names. Make sure you do hit the like, the subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us as we talk about different sectors, earnings plays, have some fun here as well, looking at some of our trades. There it is. Yeah, hit the like, subscribe, says Adara with her hands, you know. I almost knocked over my water there. Yeah, you knocked over your coffee today. I knocked over mine yesterday.
I thankfully knocked it over away from myself.
That's a good way, day trader cut, use less shares in the morning. Yeah, I mean, that is what I have been doing, but problem is when I use less shares, I think, I don't have that many shares, and then I average in, and then I have my normal amount. I just got to get better at that, but we had some real good bangers this week for sure off the open. Threads. Yeah, whatever happened to Threads?
It still exists, but
Yeah.
nobody uses it.
Says Threads web app is moving from .net to .com. It was Threads.net before?
I did not know that.
Oh, you learned something, I guess.
People signed up for like a few days, and then that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
It just never.
I think everybody has a Threads account. They just made it so easy. Went and logged into Instagram, and I was like, hey, you want a Threads
Well,
account?
it's the thing. Like, they made it easy for everyone to join so that it seemed like there was, look at all the people joining. But then nobody used it, so what difference did it make?
I don't know how many daily users they have, to be honest.
You know what? Okay, fair enough. I don't know anybody that uses it. So I'll leave it at that. I could be just so dead wrong. And it's like, hey, look how great Threads is. But I don't know anybody that does. Deep Tranquility. Great name, by the way. That's what we need. What's your thoughts on Netflix? How far can it go? Well, the thing about a blue sky setup is there's only blue skies.
When Moon.
Is one of the trickiest things to ever look at. Because I'll tell you right now, like, I'm not a chartered market technician. So when I look at a chart like this, and I own Netflix shares too, and I'm thankful that I didn't sell anything at highs, new fresh highs. When you break through a top like this and it's blue sky, some people have Fibonacci's that they like, or all kinds of extravagant things that they look at. In the short term, I tend to think of a couple of things. Okay, well, like, where's the move from? And I would venture you're looking at a couple of places in here. Like, you can look at from earnings, or you can look at from like this 850 to 860. And if that to the top was like $200, then I think a reasonable like month rally through earnings season could maybe get you $200 off the top. The problem is in this environment, so much is going to matter what goes on with tariffs, although I do think these guys are a little bit insulated from that. Technically, that's about all I could give you, or just simply like look at like a trend, like slap a trend on it since the bottom and then let it go till it breaks the trend line. The blue sky setup on Netflix. I think they're well insulated, but I'm not doing anything with my shares. And we were talking about the other day, it's like, you can like you could buy Bitcoin, this and that, and FOMO. And I didn't mean like you don't do well in individual stocks, right? Netflix has been fantastic for me. Eli Lilly's been fantastic. It's just that you're not gonna. This is not gonna go 1,000x, but it's a complete blue sky setup. To me, I need like trend breaks or hold it till it gets back underneath the high. If I was swing trading it, which I'm not, it's just so much room. And if you mean today, well, the market's turning and it went to exactly 1100. So for today, there's your answer. It double tapped 1100 right when the market's turning around. I think we're in a little bit of a pullback mode because it's been such an exuberant day. I mean, I look at it in some of the leaders today, NVIDIA, look at it just curve. Whoops, I don't have my drawing tool on. Curve, trend break, like you could be in that for a short right now. SMCI, which we did grab, did parabolic, curve. I want out in front of 35. So I think you're making the curl right now. Netflix 1100, probably the next stop, but I still think it's doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Not recession proof, but I mean, they're as good as you get.
I think Day Trader Cut, we're going to go to Darren in a second. I think Day Trader Cut is a good point. Why don't we put a poll up where what do we think is going to have, I don't want to say the bigger move, but Intel versus Google. So something about that percent. Yeah, what's going to have a bigger percentage move?
Intel.
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. All right, what's up, Adara?
I should check the expected, actually.
Keep an eye here in SWTX. This is Springworks Therapeutics. A little bit of a bounce here. So basically, Merck KGaA, which is the main holding company for Merck Group, it's headquartered in Germany. Reportedly, Merck KGaA is closing in on its $3.5 billion deal to acquire Springworks. This is expected to pay around $47 per share, according to the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal further reporting that this deal could be finalized as soon as Monday. So SWTX trading higher here on reports that Merck KGaA is near a $3.5 billion acquisition deal. SWTX said to be acquired for $47 per share under this reported deal, currently trading around $44.50 with a high of day around $46.25. Back to you.
There, yeah, that's the kind of story that we need. That's a great story there. So Merck looking to buy these guys, $3.5 billion deal. Springworks right there. Surprised that, like, why? Isn't that 10%? That's four. No, it's not. 40, almost. Obviously, it's 8% there. But that one move alone right there, 41.38. It got close to halting, and now I don't think we're going to. Well, it's been more than 10, well, it's not 10 minutes yet. If we get a little higher, we may halt here on SWTX. So thanks, Adair. Looks like they're getting closer to that deal right now. The only thing is that's a roughly $3.5 million deal. So we could we could probably figure out the price for Springworks coming up right now, but it's 3.5. $47 is what I'm hearing is about the price that would be, we'll put that at that 3.5 billion. So the thing about these companies, again, with a Merck and stuff like that, there's going to be different things involved here.
Also foreign buyers.
Are they allowed to buy them? Yeah.
It's a little longer to close.
Different rules and whatnot. So $47 looks like that's the agreed upon price right now, according to the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah,
so,
if it is at 47, like what's that, 5% annualized maybe? Which is it's kind of at the sort of the right price in here. If it were to be a deal at 47, just the risk of A, it not happening, B, not closing or taking too long. And I'm just in the head napkin math, so don't really at me. There's a downside to trading this, and I'll tell the story every single time. In a very similar situation, I was trading Southwest, and they got similar deal news in the afternoon, and it didn't halt for volatility, but it did halt news pending. And the news pending was exactly what we already knew, but it didn't open until the next day. And I got trapped overnight and got rinsed because there was no deal. So I do not like trading these until something is firm. The risk to reward, if you get caught overnight, is just different. And like, that's just, for us, it's like it is what it is. I wasn't expecting to hold it overnight. I thought I was just churning it intraday. And next thing you know, I had to hold overnight. There wasn't a deal. And what do you think happens if there's no deal? It goes right back to 41.5. So good look on SWX. This market is curling. NVIDIA does want VWAP. Right, if this bounces off VWAP, I'm literally punching out of SMCI because NVIDIA wants VWAP and SMCI is trying to get the volume weighted average price. I'm going to use this as the new trail, 35.75. We'll put a trail there on SMCI, see if we can't get to the volume-weighted average price as the market's heading into the downside. Yes, advanced money destroyer is also going down, Richard, because all of the chips are falling as we speak. Tesla's probably short. I'm going to imagine just about everything is dropping in because heavy candle over there on the NASDAQ. Yeah, right back into the volume-weighted average price on Tesla. If we start bouncing off some of these levels, I think it'll be a good place to get out at VWAP. Why is like the one thing that's been a short all day is not going? You gotta be kidding me. Load, yeah, that's not. Holding 45, the same level all day. Same top, one stop out. The best part about this, I've been like, take profit, get out, get back in, but we just cannot break 45.8 on this bad boy. You know the problem with the poll? Day Trader Cut just put this to best. It's not a fair poll.
It's fair. That doesn't matter. The implied move doesn't matter.
Well, I would just say which one beats their implied move. It's almost like
yeah. I mean, we could word it differently, but I think it's fair.
Which one beats the implied move as opposed to because I say Intel easily, but then it's 10 versus 7, so it's not saying much.
Well, actually, Dara had written down. There's different implied moves there. I had written down much closer. I think it was 8 to 6% or something like that. It does.
I think
change.
Intel does
Yeah,
double digits.
It does. It does change. So I voted Google. I think there's more about Google right now than Intel, but we'll wait. I just think Intel's had such a big move that even if it's a huge report, I'm not sure how much they blow it out off of that. But yeah, I mean, that's a good one. I did want to say though, like we already have more votes than we do likes, so we need to get that fixed. 353 likes, guys. Just hit the like button for us, please. If you're watching right now, tell YouTube that you're here. Over 1,000 would be nice. Over 6,200 of you watching right now as we are ready to rock and roll. So, hit the like button and thank you for doing that if you can right there as well. So yeah, Amazon, let's move off of that. I was just looking at it. A lot of questions about Robinhood. Yeah, I mean, my opinion on Robinhood is, let me just check out. I was going to say, I really like the stock. I mean, their quarter was great. I've talked about wanting to buy that name, but yet have never done that, which is a little silly. I probably should be in it. Robinhood, yeah, the shortfall is only 3%. I was seeing if that was a little higher. What's SoFi's? SoFi's moved 11% in the last 3 days. So that's another name here, up 4.5% today. This is in 5 days, is SoFi, and that has a much, much bigger short float there. Triple that of Hood. So SoFi definitely has some juice as well underneath it that can get that name going. So if you do like the space, then, like the space basically, and try to get some SoFi and some Robinhood. I mean, why not grab both of those? Affirm is kind of in there as well. Remember, SoFi is a bank, right? So they're going to have a little bit of a different story to Affirm, which is just the buy now, pay later product. I'm sure there's other things involved with Affirm as well. But Robinhood, I mean, wow. I mean, that's a banger right there. It already took out the 50 period. Bounced so smoothly, man. Some CL smooth right there off of 32, all the way up to 48. And it looks like it wants to break, man. So I would say, I think you could even get long now, especially if you're liking the market, and then just play off that VWAP, or the 50-period moving average, which is 45. If you're long, I would stay long. I would stay long until you break at least back into yesterday's low, which is 42.50. I really think that's a good one. So Robinhood, I think, continues to work. And then if we're going to have SoFi in 5 days, then you're probably thinking about making a decision pretty soon on SoFi. And I mean, just on a daily chart for that, as I said, that was $11 up to $12.50. That's a huge move, let alone where we've come from. Stuck in the middle right now. Look at SoFi taking out the 50-period moving average. I mean, it rode it all the way up. Then it eventually, it was breaking it here. You get a bump down, then we're down through. So let's spend a little more time over this 50-period moving average, which will adjust again after today. Looks like 12.50 is a great little level there for SoFi. So if we're above 12.50 tomorrow, then I think it's a go on SoFi. We've started to break a little long. You can even go now, the bottom 11.50. All the banks were pretty strong. SoFi in just a couple of days. Again, like the stock, think there's a good opportunity to get going there. So far, so good on SoFi, on Robinhood, and on the financials. They started the earnings season real well with some nice positivity, and it looks like it's continuing through with some of these lower names. I don't know if Affirm is even up.
You mentioned Affirm. I was about to pull it up. Affirm has been moving.
Yeah, I don't like it as much.
No, I don't like it as much either.
But Klarna got shelved.
It's up, like it's at the 200 period moving average. Like this has just gone Like these moves are nuts. It's gone 60% from the low if you cherry pick to the bottom, but because it's a firm, like the stock went 80 to 30 as well. So it lost 60%, which is not funny if you're in it. I shouldn't chuckle.
I gotta go get
But it's a big level. Like if this $50 on a firm, it's a big, heavy level. Now I'd be a little bit, I don't remember when they report. I don't memorize these things, but I'd be a little bit cautious with it, especially if we fail to break out this high. This is exactly the kind of double top on a stock like a firm that would get me a little bit nervous if I was in it. I'd be thinking about taking some profit. And certainly tomorrow, I'm going to probably throw this on my iPad for a potential reversal underneath this 50 level. It just seems to me like it's the old 1, 2, 3, like boom, boom, third time. If it holds these highs and then fail it tomorrow, you go short. That's a pretty good setup. I actually like that short setup. I did get out of SMCI. I told you I put the trailing stop in there. Even if I didn't put a trailing stop in, see that candle? Come on. Like I saw it bounce. It was right around here. I had the 35, 70 trail, or this prior bar, which is like 69. There's a reversal candle. I'm trailing out of that 10 times out of 10. The futures caught a bit as well, so we jump out of that bad boy. Yeah, yoga, we can look at anything you guys want to. I see Holo in the chat. Root is one I haven't looked at in a very long time. These guys are, Root's the insurance company, right? Double check. I do believe, I should remember this. Is it? Was Root? No. I got to think about that one for a second. I'm pretty sure this is the online insurance company, which, apologies for what I'm about to say, because I got talked out of investing in Lemonade by someone in the insurance industry. And caveat, my wife has worked in the insurance industry for a while. So I'm like, it's a very, very difficult game to be in. I had no idea the stock was performing this well, first of all. This is really good performance for them. I just know how incredibly difficult that business is for the newcomers. Everyone's trying to change the game with AI and all that good stuff. So I would probably have to do some work on this. I was expecting to see more of a downward sloping chart. Why is this so good, and why is Lemonade so bad? That's what I would like to figure for myself. So what I would tell you is that looks so much better than a thing that I would compare it to, which makes it by definition pretty solid. It's not a day trading stock, but wow, yeah, you might have found something there. But I always say, like, if you got to be able to say, I don't know, and I'm not sure, why did I just type in Toronto? What are you doing? Yeah, that's a really good looking chart. Regains the 50-period moving average. Has been trending up. If you look at the pullback, yeah, it's crazy the pullback from the highs. But when you zoom it out far enough, that's not that bad compared to what else we're seeing on the dips in this market. You could do a heck of a lot worse. I would have expected a stock like this to have lost the 200-period moving average. How would this not? I did. Oh, I'll take another. Is it that peach stuff? My goodness, this is the best tea I've had.
I didn't smell it. So I thought I was going to go get you one.
I'm only having the peach tea from now on every single. I only do tea in the afternoons because I can't drink coffee in the afternoon.
Really? I didn't know if I didn't think you got one, so I was like, I'm going to go get one. And I was going to get one for you.
That.
Yeah, that's good. Now you have two teas.
It's because it's cold in here. I always need like a warm drink.
Yeah, this is it, man. There it is. Peach. It's nice. I feel like my voice was getting a little raspy right
because
here.
You're cheering. You know what it is? The reason why it's worse cheering for hockey than anything else. Like,
why even?
It's the cold. Like you're in the cold rink all the whole time, and then you're yelling. That's way worse than when you're like outside in the warmth. I think.
Oh yeah. I think it's colder in here than it is in the rinks, man. Like right now, no cap. All right, so
NDP, that is 100%.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you guys like this Amazon trade. Thank you very much for that one. But at the end of the day, it's the same trade that we've had all morning. So we're going to look to see if we can get into anything else right now. Mara, Bitcoin 93.9 right now. Like we said, the hard part about trading in the afternoon is there's nothing hard about it. It's just the day's sort of already on. We already know some key levels. We know some stocks that we like. And unless you kind of break levels or come back into something, it does become pretty hard to like look for great opportunities. We could take some trades and just sort of call them lesser value. Like, Oracle's a New York stock. Phone's in my pocket here. I got to get it out. All right, we have security around here. You can't get from the trading floor to the kitchen without the special sauce.
Or a fob.
Or a fob, yeah, or just a phone, basically. Wow, okay. I mean, this was another one here with low PE right now. Oracle really hit down.
Uh-oh. Is that
the stream? All right, so I don't know if we're up or not, but...
our monitor just went... Oh, the stream seems fine.
Okay, it's just our monitor.
Our
Oh, but Ramin
program
wouldn't have
monitor
seen that
just
go
went
off,
down.
too. Are we still up, guys? If we are, that's fine.
You guys can see and hear us?
Yeah, okay. People are saying fade to black, so maybe they can't. Here's versus bulls. Can you use...
Oh, you can hear us, but you can't see us.
You can hear us. Well, oh my God, the market's ripping. If you guys
We're
can't
still here. They can't shut us down. They can try, but they can't shut us down. Look, we're just keeping things chill right now because the market's not moving that much. We're in dark mode, apparently. Yeah, we got Fabian and Ramin are working on it. We'll get it back up. But obviously, if you guys can still hear us, then that's A-okay. Would be really audio good, visual bad. So I'm not going to be able to talk about the Oracle chart that you just
Yeah, the Oracle chart looks real nice if you could see it. Trust me.
It's a nice upward slope in Oracle. It is fantastic. It's breaking trend. This is, I think it's got another $20 in it. When did they report? Did you find out when they reported?
Trump got to us. Did we just get tariffed? Were we on for too long?
It's because they here as well. So like there is some movement. I wish I could show you the chart to be able to show you some of these bounces. I got out of the SMCI short. NVIDIA changed a bit. I don't know.
All quiet now, apparently. Okay, we're coming back. I think we just rebooted everything, so let's
turn it off and turn it off.
Stay as patient as possible right now. But damn, that's a great chart, that Oracle. All right,
it is so good, and it's like they didn't want us to be able to show it to anybody.
Oh, now they don't hear us at all, I don't think.
Is it down at all?
Looks like, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not good.
Oh, we have audio. Okay.
We do?
Yeah, I guess so. Bears versus Bulls, just DM me. All right, audio's back. All right, audio's back, but nothing else. All right, well, tonight, guys, if you're just willing to join us, ready to join us, Darren and I on the recap show, we'll be here at 4 o'clock right away. This will all get resolved very, very quickly. Don't worry about this.
It'll get fixed.
But as we go, so thank you, Bears, has messaged that the audio is up. So 100% audio is now up. Well, thank you so much for that one, Bears versus Bulls. And then we will just remind everybody it's Intel tonight, it's Alphabet, it's T-Mobile tonight. We're excited for all of that. I mean, I have
a confession.
We got to hit the like button.
Everyone hit the like and subscribe button right now because it'll make the team work extra hard to make sure we have the recap show going.
Yes.
And we're all super excited.
I mean, I'll take the day off.
Intel, no, you're not, because Intel's going to be a big move. And no, Google's a bigger one. Everyone cares about Alphabet.
Yeah.
But I have a confession to make. It is entirely my fault things went down because instead of paying the electricity bill,
we bought more tea.
We used that money to buy Sharif's shoes.
Damn it, Sharif.
It's my bad. I wanted those shoes so badly.
I'm not even...
You can see us on the mobile stream?
Yeah, well, no one wants to go over there. All right,
okay.
so you go over to the mobile stream and check us out.
Can see us?
I guess that's a good one. So we are just that's funny about Sharif there, by the way. So that's
so he's not here right now, right?
I don't think so.
So no, the reason I'm buying them is that I was gonna. He's not gonna watch this. No, I'm gonna buy them, and I want to get them bronzed.
Oh,
then I want to hang them. Then I want to hang them in front of his station.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Just to kind of like have fun with it. What? It's expensive to bronze shoes.
Bronze?
Why would it? Is it?
I think it's expensive.
I've never done it before.
Yeah.
You've bronzed shoes before?
I've never bronzed shoes. mean, to bronze something, I think would be pretty
That
expensive.
used to be a thing. Like you would. Oh,
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Are we back? I mean, we're back here.
We're back.
We're back. All right. Good. They can see now. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ramin, Mark, Rob, Fabian, Andre. Thank you to everybody for all of that as we are now back from the black screen of death. You know, that's what happens maybe if you don't update your Windows. You get the blue screen there. And I guess that's what we got. So, you know, we got temporarily tariffed there for about 5 minutes.
Yes.
So thank you so much to everybody. Apparently.
Well, 5 minutes is not bad for the length of the show.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? All right. I thought it was maybe because I went and got you a tea, and I was like, all of a sudden we did something.
That broke
there.
everything?
I know. Obviously, it did not.
It is hilarious.
that?
That's by far the most activity the chat has ever had in the show.
Yeah, they started talking about tariffs and everything on.
No more peach tea. The peach tea. No, we're not getting rid of that. It's delicious.
Peach tea is not going anywhere.
Microphone check 1, check 2.
Are we okay now? Bears
we're
versus Bulls,
good.
I guess, can probably confirm that. Yeah, we're solid.
James
We're more
Choi,
solid than we ever been. Thank you, Bears versus Bulls. I got that message.
Yeah, we're good. James Choi just said Intel and Alphabet will be nasty guidance. You know what
I can't see Alphabet very, very good guidance.
Well, what I care about is the spend, I think, the most for Alphabet. I don't want to see them cut back because they're the ones that are supposed to be behind in the game when it comes to AI. So if they're the ones that are trying to play catch up and they don't want to do more data spend, that's not good at all because that's a bad sign for the hyperscale. They're the ones most incentivized to keep their AI spend and the data center spend. We want to make sure they're doing that. That'd be bad for NVIDIA if they don't. So that's the number I care about the most.
All right, so yeah, once I was blind, now I can see. Yeah, thank you for being patient with us and sticking with us. You know, the thing about the NASDAQ is, and maybe we should just trade something to the TQs of the downside, everyone seems to be real negative right now about what's happening here tonight. We could short the TQs right now, and I actually don't.
Dump it.
I think it might be worth something right now. I like I was saying, I don't like going against the market in general when we see something like this happening, but I do think there is some kind of value in looking short against that high rate there. So 51.80 right here for the TQs. We're getting pretty close to that level. I know they're battling. Ramin, just maybe my screen, Ramin, if we can. I know she's talking with Brendo right here quickly. But I just think that this could be a short. Yeah, no problem. Take your time. Right here. So I'm going to try to go short against this 51.90. So I'm going to build a position. We can take a smaller piece right now. I was actually waiting for 76s. Let's take something right now at 64. I offered 64. Give me that nut. We're there. There's 64. So now we'll wait to see if we get a good short opportunity here. I think we will, and I think it'll be a decent spot here to go short on the TQs. So we're going to do that. We're going to give 51.90, 51.92 or so as our stops. Let's just put that in right now. 51.96. Let's give it a little bit of love. You know, we could get wicked out, and if we do, we do. We're going to take a piece now, very, very small. If I can get up to like 2 or 3 units, that would be like the maximum for right now. Because again, the logic for me would be that we do have some 2 decent earnings calls coming tonight with Intel and with Alphabet. The market, we saw yesterday, if we go into yesterday's trade, near the end of the day, we kind of bled through the last half hour, the last hour of the day, only to pick up once the imbalances came through. So those imbalances could easily affect us. Remember yesterday it was 1.6 billion to buy on the NASDAQ, which is not a huge number. It's nothing to be, worried about from that. It's just, I don't want to be in this for very long, which is why we're giving a quick stop order. Let's just see if we do take the way down. And then the other part about this trade is too, I'm looking, we have CNN, we have CNB, something else up there as well. And if there's any sort of breaking news, we still got a dare at the desk. We have our stop orders in. And if you're going to trade the futures with me, please try. Yeah, I know. What's up to Easy? I know. I'll always try to drop some of that stuff in there right there. So, but got sidetracked. If we do rip up, I think if you're trading anything right now, no matter what the time of day is, we've seen some pretty aggressive moves where whether or not it's a bond auction at 1 p.m. or something like that, that can really start to dance. So there it is. So hopefully we pull back a little bit. SWTK, is that the stock?
That's the
SWTX.
Yeah, that's
at day's high. So this is a story with Merck and Germany. Germany's Merck, this is not a deal with Germany, but looking to take out Springworks. They've agreed now on a price. It's a $35 billion buyout right there that is apparently going to create this stock to go out in and around $47. I don't know the timing of the deal or anything like that, so there will be time value of money in there.
Yeah,
Plus, I don't know if there's any warrants involved or what. And obviously, when you're dealing with a therapeutics company and Merck trying to take them out, they're working on something. So either they're close to approval. I don't know enough about the company, but something's brewing here. Good deal for Springworks, it seems like, up to 47. That's just a 50-period moving average. So they've been a lot higher and they've been a lot lower. So it looks like the shareholders probably would be okay with this kind of a deal. Generally speaking, though, you get a little bit more of a bump than what I'm seeing right here on these prices, but the deal is going to go out and it looks like it's done. So $47 for Springworks. I bet you nobody holds this in their account.
No, it doesn't look like a huge, gigantic premium at all. But you never really know, like, what's the single drug that they're dealing with? Where, like, what stage are they at? Maybe they've got a couple of things in the pipeline. Maybe one's not.
Right.
Who knows? But I think tomorrow, if it is this big, it's $3.5 billion. It'll probably be really tradable in there tomorrow. I've got eyeballs on Mickey again. SMCI is right back to a local high. My chart's not up. 35.85 on SMCI. It has already faded there once since I got out, and it's coming right back up there again. There's only about 15 minutes till the imbalances come in, so I think you're like on last salvos in here. So I just offered 81 and got insta-filled. This local top is at 90, so I'm looking for it to just trade this same range. 35.5 is the bottom of this range, and 35.90 is the top. I just got 81, so I'm trying to risk only 10 cents on SMCI. I'm still in that end phase, but I'm getting out. Here, I'll show you. I'm getting out of end phase at 45.80 because it doesn't want to go any lower than 45.80. As you guys can clearly see, I'm shorted in the quarters, and it won't break this, so I'm jumping out if it does that. But it's 10 cents worth of risk on SMCI. We did have a better trade on it at 36.25. So if it goes all the way up there, then I might take another shot. But this is just a kind of a reload after we found a new range on SMCI.
All right, traders, listen up. Very important stuff here. Your first month is completely free. Look, I mean, people that haven't scanned that QR code need to do it. Get the account. Look, worst case scenario, grab the account and say it's not for you. It's first month free. Check out the platform. Let us know if you like it. If you're looking for mobile, they have that. They checked over 50 plus brokers. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite advantage with eSignal. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. The platform has everything. It has infinite data. It has instant trading, lightning fast market insights. The instant trading is that you can log in and attach this to your broker, trade off the charts. I mean, that's huge, right? Game-changing charting. Predict it with back testing, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips. Get entitled with any market you want. It's all in one platform. Don't miss out and execute now with the best trading platform. If you're ready to elevate your trading experience, which, I love the platform for good reason. Make sure you trade with eSignal in your back pocket. So scan that QR code and get involved with eSignal today. I mean, it's amazing, and we talk about that all the time. The options experience on there, apparently, from Joe has been, some credible opportunities there with the option chain. We did have the TQs did go in the money for us, about 10 cents, which was not that much down there into the 51.50 area. We did not have any bids there. We should have. Now we have a bigger position. Our average price is 72s right now, and we're going to get out at 91s. I'm actually not going to average into this anymore. I have a little bit under 1 unit right now. It's not, if we give this back, it'll be about 10% of our day. We'll give back if we get stopped out right there. So that means that that's about a 20-cent hit. So if we can get back into there, we'll top up with another 10%, and we'll see if we can get some out there. 51.50s or so for a bid. I'm going to put some more down there because now we have bigger positions. So if we can get filled down there, that would be pretty good for us. So we'll put an ARCA bid down there in the 50s, see if that will come through. So that's the TQQs there. We already have that buyout that we talked about, SWTX. We've talked about GameStop. We've talked about CoreWeave was a good one as well. That CEP you
so tempting to trade traded, but it's not liquid.
Yeah, you just highlighted that as well. And then we've talked about Robinhood today. We talked about SoFi this afternoon and a few other names that you guys have given us. So thank you for all of that.
Oh, Martinez asked if we're on eSignal. The answer to that is a resounding yes. I was actually, I was just looking at GLD. Here's the other thing. I know when you see on my layout, I have a level, this is a level 2 of whatever I happen to pull up. Let's just pull up, like I'm in SMCI right now, so I can show like a 3-minute on SMCI right in here. Like there's the book, but I got the same book open up. All the gateways are there. They have some IEX, whatever it might be. And then it's really customizable. So I have a couple of things that I look at, like volume spikes. I haven't customized this enough with filters, but I also like to look at the hot list, which is just the trade rate. Like what I usually want to see is some things that either haven't been there before or aren't the usual suspects. But you got Tesla, Nvidia, SoxL, and that's not going to be surprising. I don't know SLI. You got TQQQ, SPY, Palantir. So every now and then you might see something which is distinctly different, and that gets interesting to me. Or a name that goes from like nowhere to popping up at the top. Like if GDX went from the bottom to the top, it's like, hey, something's happening on GDX. That's the one thing I want to have up. And then if you just get an idea if something starts to happen very specifically in one space. Like maybe I'll notice the chip names are going when they all go up there, or SoxL goes up there. Or maybe I'll see something in Tesla. So I like to leave that up at all times where I can see it. We did jump into SMCI. There's only 10 minutes till the imbalances, which reminded me, the early look is, Snapchat's 1 million to the buy side. UiPath is there every day. Some days it's a buy, some days it's a sell, but it's always between 2 and 3 million for some reason. I don't know why. But that's the only thing. LUV, early look 1 million to the buy side. They reported this morning. HPE's there. So really no big imbalances here for the early look. We'll see at 350. Maybe Intel has a bit of something. They report right after the bell, so I can't imagine there'd be too many people going ham on it right before earnings on the imbalances, unless they want to get out of a position on Intel. I don't know. Alphabet, same thing. It's not usually a big name on the imbalances. More likely Apple or NVIDIA.
All right. Zerk there in the chat says you could drop an anchored VWAP every time Trump talks about gold prices and, take the long off of that. I mean, yeah, you're probably right. I don't know when Trump was talking today, but exactly the times, but it doesn't really matter. I was just going to say VWAP also, just a normal VWAP today has been pretty good for all of these dip buy opportunities in GLD. And, we've had quite the little pullback here in gold, whether or not that lasts. Moving forward here, I'm not sure, but nice move down there for gold. Now it's a nice bump up for 1.3%. Take advantage of buying maybe some gold the next time it does dip like that, or even today. I mean, it's not like it's up huge or anything like that. All right, so we're getting ready to go here. The futures are starting to tick a little bit higher right now, and so we did put this position on. We did talk about it, that it was going to be a rough little stop out right here, so it looks like that is about to happen as we break back above that level. It's a dangerous, we're just at the highs right now. I'm fine with where our price is, 75s, where it's right here. Thought that, and we probably overthought it a little bit, thinking that, hey, heading into the close, heading into, this earnings report here that's coming from those companies, that some more negativity around Google and around Intel. But today's been a great day for the NASDAQ. So, the NASDAQ will move, obviously, a lot more than just two names. You have the Apple move today. Amazon's $5 in the money as that continues to go higher. But here we go, and it's pretty much perfect. We will give back about that 10%.
Your high a day.
Yeah, PLTR high a day. Probably AMD, no. We could check where NVIDIA is winding up right now. They're all starting to tick higher, right? And so to fight the futures now, there it goes. So we actually wind up getting taken out, which means it's probably the right time to go short now. So it's a fail on the try there near the end of the day, but we did have that one unit on. So it does suck to get that tick, 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 boom right there to the upside. Could be, now I think to myself, we just ticked the top, but it's not, there's no way of knowing that would have been the top other than it was just right there. We had just got stopped out there. It went a couple pennies more than I thought it would have, and we got stopped out at that level. So yeah, it kind of sucks to have that. Our average price was 73 anyways. It's not, we are in danger there. We remember the imbalances that are coming out. It's going to be another thing. They're all bids here, so you got to watch out for that. Right now, I'm actually thinking about getting back in.
Little topping tail on Apple.
No volume there,
the
though.
high day.
Yeah, well, yeah, topping tail, yeah, everything there. So hopefully it continues to go for those that are long. But right now, not the great early look there for me on that futures play. But I'm still fine with it. Just like to not have lost money, but we did. So there it is.
That's always. I mean, I was just looking at Apple. Probably should have not been looking only for shorts because Apple bounced right off of 207 again and into the high. So you could have rinsed and repeated that trade, but I was looking for shorts. We'll see how SMCI goes. It's not really moving. I don't know what to tell you. Like I got into it at 81, the stop's above 90. I think the highest it got to was like 85, 86, and the lowest it's gotten to is like 74. So it's like 5 cents in, 5 cents out. That kind of a thing, and coming back down. Oh, finally, all right, you'll see that I just got out of it in phase because it went right back to that 45.8, so I'm out of that trade. That's from earlier, and I didn't put that on here. We've been in that stock short all day long. But SMCI going sideways, unfortunately, so I'm not moving the stop. I mean, if it breaks at 90, we'll get out of it. City Boy, City Bitcoin goes to 100 million. Joe's taking
100 million?
Joe's taking us to Vegas. BTC's not going to 100 million.
However, I'll buy Vegas if it goes to 100 million.
However,
money won't mean anything if it goes there.
Well, if it goes there, you've broken the system.
That's what I'm saying. You better get a shotgun.
Well, that's exactly my point. There's things people throw out there, and you're going to want to make sure your family's safe and your arm and that kind of stuff. But it is breaking the high of the day. There's IBIT trying to take out the high. You've got the Nasdaq trying to take out the high. Apple's trying to do it as we speak. Oddly enough, NVIDIA's not, so it's not looking as strong. But I don't know if I would want to trade this here. It does seem like you could, you do a topping tail wick like this, the false break of the high, then take that short. That usually looks pretty good. Oh, City Boy, you mean 100K?
Oh, 100K. 100
you know what's
100
funny?
million.
I actually I scrolled up to make sure that I read it.
But
I didn't misread it. I think you just mistyped it. He goes, 100K. 100K tonight, though?
Yeah,
tonight,
5% high, 6% higher.
What's getting us to 100K tonight on Bitcoin? What's Trump saying that gets us to 100%?
There's just a deal.
Or 100K, sorry.
I mean, if there is a deal announced with China, I think that is right.
So we think a deal is happening today?
You ask me what.
That's the only way we're getting to 100K tonight. I mean, we're not going there just.
Yeah, I mean, there could be more talk about the reserve. I'm just saying, I have no idea what if Trump said the U.S. government added another 200,000 coins? I don't know if that's even possible, but
98.85.
93.5 right now for Bitcoin. Possible.
You know what's I told you my
Amazon just
my other godfather was one of the founders of that station in Toronto. 93.5.
Oh yeah. I think I knew that.
First all hip hop station in Toronto.
I think I knew that.
And one of my dad's best friends was like one of the.
Trump leaves.
He was part of the ownership group. Pretty cool. That was pretty cool, man. It was. Radio's not a thing anymore, so I'm doing it myself. But it was really, really cool. He was like a really, really good guy, and that was a big deal. I used to love 93.5.
All right, we might just get out of Amazon right now. It's $5 in the money. I mean, no matter what we have left, it's still counting. So it's up to the top again, right before imbalances. Might be worth just checking out now of Amazon. I got to get over there anyways to start to set up. I don't need to run over there, but we need to get set up. All right, you know what? Why don't I just cancel everything right now, cancel the stop on Amazon and just put a new one? Because what if those imbalances come out a bit again? Then we're going to be cruising, right? So let's just go a break of 186. We'll put that stop in right now. Break of 186, and we'll get at 185.90. We'll cross it down to 185.80, 185.99 there. We'll cross that down. Maybe we do get a little bit of a pull there on Amazon back in. So that's going to be a level for me to look at for sure on Amazon if we do get stopped out there. So, all right, you go to deal with this David guy, and I'll go set up over there.
100%.
Yeah.
David, we appreciate the super chat. Super chat gift from Palantir. Glad you banked on Palantir today. Neil, buy those shoes if still available. They're available. They're mine. Look, Sharif, when we did the rundown, I turned to Sharif and said, I'm not joking. I'm buying those shoes that you have on Marketplace. And we discussed in the aftermarket show what I am going to do with them. You know what? He's not watching. The plan of action, I'm going to bronze the shoes, and then we're going to hang it in front of his trading station just as a fun little gag. So that's what's going to happen there for sure. Appreciate you. Appreciate the super chat, everybody. While I'm here, really? So 59%. We have 1,500 votes on this poll. By the way, 1,500 votes on the poll and probably not that many likes. I have to refresh, and I'll check that in a second, everybody. I'm checking you out what we're at. 59% think it's going to be Alphabet. I voted for Intel on this one. It's compressed. It's only a $20 stock. It's easier. It's an easier path to a bigger move, and the expected move is much bigger. Everyone seems to think it's Counter and Alphabet. Only 6.5%, I think, the expected. A little surprised by that, everybody. That is fine. Drop trades. Now you've gone into the shoe fund as well. Thank you. Another super chat for $10. Everyone that didn't watch the aftermarket show or yesterday when Sharif was talking about these shoes was like, what is everyone talking about? No, Sharif was joking about how people responded to his marketplace ad for his pair of shoes that he was trying to sell. And then suddenly everyone wanted to joke about buying the shoes. And I decided I'm just going to buy them and have fun with it. So that's what we're doing here, everybody. Intel, $20, says Martinez. I don't necessarily disagree with that. And my entire logic, I'll get away from e-signal on this and just go back over to Intel. SMCI can't even give me that like first 15 pennies, which is ridiculous. If you go back to Intel, it comes down to this. Why do I think it can be more than 10%? Well, if it goes down, your absolute bottom is 18, and that's a good 15% from here right now. There's no massive upside resistance till you see 24. And when you're this cheap and bleeding this bad, percentage up moves are really easy to happen because in previous prices, like what is $2 now? $2 is nothing when you look at historically where this has been for most of the last year and a half. But $2 is 10% today. It's just easier for it to do that kind of move, path of least resistance on Intel. And yes, we lost execution, I punched out, and that was the bottom. And I'm not going to live it down. And and this is one of those things, I was doing some stuff, like I trade a lot of market making stuff on the side. And when we lost execution, I had a lot of orders that I needed to put back in, and I should have been right back in the stock. There's no excuse for it. I should have had one trade in Intel, and I had every reason to be right back in there, and it should have been like a really easy stock. I wish I could tell you SMCI was doing something, but it's not. Their first short was clean. Even reheld our level, pulled all the way back into 35.5 on the 36 quarter short, and then nothing doing. Oh, by the way, imbalances did come out there. One imbalance, NVIDIA 3.7, because Intel 2.5. I don't care that they're reporting tonight. 2.5 million shares is nothing on Intel. It's too cheap. But look at the paired vol on this NVIDIA. That's probably a reversal short, I think, off the high. Yeah. See that wick on NVIDIA? And it's already 18 million paired volume. So 4 mil, 18 paired. This, I wish this was 354 because that's like a textbook. It pairs off to a sell imbalance and then you short that high for sure. I mean, let's see. I mean, NVIDIA has got 3 minutes until you actually get the pairing event, but it's already showing you a reluctance to get through the top, and it's a massive paired volume. 18 million is pretty big compared to that 4. Yeah.
Careful with whatever you're doing. Where our stop still. Us or not. The big one. I voted.
You voted for Alphabet. Alphabet's winning the poll.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, they're saying no. Your mic is muted.
No.
They're saying they can't hear you.
Probably a good. Probably a good thing.
You guys hear me?
I think I was muted over there, right? Okay, we're okay now. Just admit it, Ramin. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Your job is safe with me. Yeah, as I said, muting the mic's probably a good thing. No, I was just saying that sometimes these imbalances. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. They're lying. I mean, don't worry about it. But no, at the end of the day, I always say that. Right. Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, everything's fine now.
We're good.
Intel versus Google. I was just saying that I had voted for Google, so it's nice to see. But they're both moving around right here into the close. There goes Intel to the upside. And all I was getting at was Amazon was a buy imbalance, and just kind of doing like this. So with just a few minutes left, I still do have that imbalance, or sorry, the out of 186.20. So if we break below, was it 20? Oh no, it was lower than that. All right, I'm actually going to get out of Amazon right now that I see that, because my stop was breaking 187. That's it. That closes the trade right there. Oh yeah, my Stream Deck's not working. That might be the other thing that's down. No, it's okay. I'm just letting you know in case that matters for the closing show, because we do have Steve Tileman coming.
Yes.
Okay, good. So we do have our guest coming through. All right, yeah. See, now it's working. So there
Power Hour
All right,
2
so there we go. So yeah, so now we're working. Good trade to end the day. It's a $5 winner there on Amazon. We went long early. We just got some out right now. So we'll figure that out after this. Yeah, not much else to go on there. Nice move up on the TQ. So sorry about that. We failed on that one. It was just a small 1-unit play, trying to do something here in the afternoon, and we did give some back. So I kind of little sour taste there. But as we exit our trade, we have a very, very small LFT, because we're able to get out at the highs there for Amazon and just took the L here. Wow. The NASDAQ right now has broken through the high of the day. So congratulations, anybody that had it.
Google.
Yeah, wow, it's even going higher. So, all right, let's go over to Adair and just watch this NASDAQ climb.
This part of the show is brought to you by Trade the Pool.
Alphabet.
With Trade the Pool, you can trade real stocks with massive capital and only put down $47 to get started. Trade the Pool offers up to 2 ways to get funded, and both give you access to up to $200,000 in company capital. It all depends on your trading style. The Max plan is built to reward consistency with a smooth path to payouts. The Flex plan is designed to fit you, and you need more time and flexibility. Whichever path you choose, your risk is capped and opportunity is unlimited. Join TradeThePool.com. Scan the QR code and get 10% off. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. Appreciate you there. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. The market's already breaking out. They must like, or at least like, the notion of buying into Alphabet earnings tonight, which are big. I want to give a big thank you to Chris Style. I like that.
Yeah,
Chris Style. Not Crystal. Chris Style in here. Crystal's okay too. For the shoes, thanks for all you do. We're getting the shoes, all right. Trust me, if it wasn't happening, it's certainly happening now. We appreciate all the super chats over it.
You just have to make sure he knows you're not kidding. That's all. He needs to bring the.
I looked him dead in the eye, into his soul, and said, I'm the one buying these shoes. Okay. You're selling them to me. Take the listing down. They're mine. Okay. But I don't know. I've never bronzed anything before. I don't even know where I go to bronze something in the GTA. I'm sure I can just Google it or something like that. I can't promise it'll be a quick turnaround on the bronzing. It can't be that expensive, man. People used to bronze like baby shoes and stuff, right? Like when you're a kid. Isn't that something you did? Like,
so do you understand the size of baby shoes?
Yeah, but how much could it have possibly cost? Anyway.
It's covered in bronze. I mean, it's probably
can't be that
20 times. Like, I don't know, my baby, don't bronze my shoes. Like, I mean, at the end of the day.
Might have been a bad idea. It can't, I don't know.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. It's a fun idea. It's a fun idea. Well, it's being funded anyways.
Yeah.
So we'll
trophy store, someone just said you can go to, but people don't do trophies aren't as big of a thing. There used to be a couple. Trophies. There was one close to me, but like they do a lot more.
Yeah, we could spray paint it.
They do a lot of metals now. Yeah, I could spray paint it.
Spray paint it, bro. We don't have to actually bronze it.
Straight up gangster. I'll spray paint that joint.
Dun, 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 dun,
Whoever said spray paint, thank you for reminding me of the cheap way to do it. That's how I'm living. Done. Yeah. So 3 minutes to go here. Alphabet breaking high of the day. Just to recap. Yeah, that's my Alphabet chart. It doesn't like me today. Apple, 208.5. Apple, 2% to the upside. So everything is breaking this top. NVIDIA.
Wow.
NVIDIA's still struggling. See how NVIDIA can't seem to break this high? Let's lock 106.5 on NVIDIA. Everything is breaking the top. NVIDIA can't break 106.5. You can see the wall that is just being put up on this chart when everything seems to want to go as well. So good look on NVIDIA. Everything was a buy imbalance, and SMCI was flat, so I just assumed it was a buy imbalance too and punched out flat on that last short. Forgot to mention it though. I did have a stop to lose 10 cents, but I'm like, whatever. Everything was a buy and balance. It seems like it's not going down. Let's just punch out of it for sure. Mean Gene wants me to walk around with them in the studio saying, my precious. That's not bad.
There's another $10. Okay, now we have.
Okay, like, we're good. Thank you, David. Appreciate
But
it.
bring your real
For the
ID.
can of spray paint.
What did I miss
Bring
here?
your real ID. I don't understand that.
Oh, because you're going to get ID'd for buying spray paint because they think you're going to huff it? Is that why?
You need an ID to buy spray paint? Come on.
No.
I don't know.
Not here in Canada, baby.
Not in Canada.
Yeah, you can
Walk into Canadian Tire and
no
get some bronze spray paint.
spray
No
paint.
problem.
It's going to be hilarious, though, if we
I'd be happy if I got ID.
when
Getting
that
ID
gets
is
done.
cool when you're my age, man.
All right, man. Great job today
Only
for
1 minute to
everybody.
go?
Yeah, only less than 1 minute. I'm going to get over there because, and Ramin wanted me to point out that they've been working overtime. That closing bell, is really accurate. It's there after 3 minutes, 3 minute countdown.
Yes.
So you definitely, if you're ever looking for one of the best countdowns around, that closing bell right there. Thank you to Ramin and company for that. It's
I felt like I saw the Canadian flag down there in the bottom of the screen for a second.
yeah, I hit this.
Oh, but didn't you see it lingering, though? It was like lingering for a bit down there. Anyway.
Today the ghosts are here.
There's a ghost in the machine today, but you know what? There is going to be a hot fire aftermarket recap show up next. That's
Oh yeah, I better go. Okay, see you.
yeah, you.
Oh my God, Intel's out. No, it's
in
not
about
out.
30 seconds. Remember, we are expecting. They're supposed to be 4 o'clock, right? So Alphabet, Intel at 4 o'clock, almost right away. So we don't want to delay too much. We'll go kind of right into it. Everybody, let's just try to sit back, relax. You'll just pop right on over for sure. So I'm going to keep eyeballs on Alphabet because I feel like that's the big one. But let's get on over to Adara. Let's ring this closing bell on in about 4 seconds here. Alphabet, Intel. Let's get this party started, Adara. And I mean get the party started because, yeah, the trading show and the day is wild, but it's earnings season, and it starts in earnest. It's already started in earnest, but we got Alphabet. As we said, we've got Intel. Not really seeing any movement. There's a big close print, obviously, on Alphabet here, but yeah, no big movement just yet out of them. I'm really interested to see how the ad spending is going. I think it's a big one. Make sure they're doing their big capital spend. I don't want them to be getting rid of that. It's going to be a big one when it comes to that conference call. Looks like we're getting some movement to the upside in Alphabet. When these guys give the thumbs up, first of all, got to thank everybody on our team. It wasn't just Fabian and Ramin that got us back when we had those issues. We had everybody coming in from the back. Mark, Rob, everybody came in, made sure we could get back up live. Brennan as well. So shout out to all of you. Thank you guys so much for all of those super chats. But it's some movement through the high. I don't think Alphabet's out yet, despite the fact that it's trying to break 160, and there is some churning volume, but it should be shortly. And our market recap show, Intel is out. Let's go to the desk. Intel is out, everybody. Let's go to the market recap now. And it's bad.
There goes Intel for a little bit. I mean, we do have that downside tick there. Wow. Revenue of $12.6 billion. Looks like they're going to beat a little bit here on the estimate on the revenue, but we're going to figure that out right here about their EPS. So Intel, for some reason, fat fingers all the way down to 2050 right there. Now we're starting to get some upside move. Adara will parse through the numbers and get them to you ASAP when they are accurate. But right now, Intel, loss of 19 cents for Intel. So expected EPS of 0 minus 19 cents. Come on, Lip. What do you got going on over there? As this is a nice move down in there for $20.50. Downside move right now. Welcome to our Profit X market recap show. Adara, interrupt me, please, when you have something.
I've got stuff. So
Google's ripping.
They actually did beat on EPS and sales, Intel, because that 19 cents per share, that was actually going to be their gap loss. So their non-GAAP was actually a beat, 13 cents per share versus 1 cent expected. Sales also beat on Intel, so 12.67 billion, beating estimates of 12.3 billion. Let's pull up Google here.
Google's ripping.
I'm still not seeing these numbers though on Google.
Okay, so
I don't have anything yet.
Okay, good. So, yeah, not good that we don't have it, but good that it's moving upside right now. There goes Alphabet, Google, Rip City right now. Nice upside move there for Google. Here's the live level 2 if you're wondering what's up with this. There it goes right there. This is a 1 minute chart there for Google. Google went out tonight at 159.50 up to 165. Hey, man, what goes bump in the night? The NASDAQ goes bump in the night. That was a nice move there at the the end of the day. We talked about that. Why was it going up? Was there a whisper number out there for Intel and Google? I'm not sure. If it was for Intel, then they have the wrong way. But Alphabet right there, banger. What a move. There we go, 167. Let's go. This might be the right time to check your accounts. 168 and change for Google. We're up and away, Dara.
Yeah, I've got the numbers. So earnings, $2.81 per share compared to $2.01 per share estimates. So that is a mega beat. Net income, $34.54 billion versus $24.85 billion. So they beat here by about $10 billion. Revenue, $90.23 billion versus $89.15 billion expected. I was seeing different revenue estimates, but this is what I'm seeing, I guess, circulated, so we'll go with that. Operating margin, 34%. Google Ads revenue, $66.89 billion. Google Cloud revenue, $12.26 billion. Also, Intel announcing some cost-cutting measures. It was reported earlier this week that they were going to be announcing that during their report anyway, so that's actually not a huge surprise at all. But yeah, Intel, as I mentioned earlier, they did actually beat EPS and sales, though, again, their GAAP EPS was pretty bad there with regards to that loss.
Yeah, nice move up there. Huge move. Apparently, I just saw in the chat, I don't know if you mentioned this, $70 billion buyback for Google. I mean, put that money to work and give it back. That's okay. Maybe it's not there. But nice move up there for Google, up 8%. So that's a monster. Intel, I just saw the Intel guide, and man, did it suck. Right there, Intel sees Q2 sales, $11.2 billion to $12.4 versus 12.8. So way lower on the estimate there for Intel's guide. So that's not great. They guide lower. Is this that kitchen sink opportunity there for Google? But a nice move down there, now through $21. Intel still holding positive on the day, but it is giving some back. We go out on the day at $21.50. We're only down 50 cents on Intel, so let's not do some Justin Timberlake and Cry Me a River yet on that one. It's Google, though, right now. Nice top side. T-Mobile also is now out as well. And you can see TMUS making that move down to 258. This is T-Mobile right here. TMUS downside. Whoa, nice downside print there as well. Let's check out Gilead, and then we'll go back over to you, Adara, for some news. So GILD right now downside as well on Gilead. SKX, Skechers is now out. Bang to the downside. Oh boy, are we covering it all for you right now. It's Intel, it's Skechers, it's Gilead, it's Google. What do you want to talk about?
We do have the $70 billion buyback. I did finally see it come through in Alphabet, but I didn't want to confirm until I saw it because there's a lot of fake news and rumors. So it approves additional $70 billion buyback here. GOGL. They did also announce a 5% increase to their dividend. Yeah, that Intel guidance he went over, but it was really bad. Let's also talk here about TMUS, so T-Mobile and our good friend Gilead. So T-Mobile actually beating here. $2.58 earnings per share versus estimates of $2.44. Sales also a beat, $20.89 billion versus $20.62 billion expected. Now let's look at our friend GILD, see what Gilead's doing over here. Not Gilead from Handmaid's Tale, Gilead, the science company. So they did have a miss here on sales, $6.67 billion versus $6.77 billion expected. Adjusted earnings of $1.81 per share versus $1.76 expected. Let's talk about their guidance, though, because they lowered their guidance. They lowered their fiscal 2025 GAAP EPS guidance, $5.95 to $6.35 versus the previous guide of $5.65 to $6.05. Their new guide entirely misses estimates of $6.21. They did reaffirm their previously issued guidance for fiscal 2025 EPS, but their GAAP EPS, again, that's what's really going to be the issue here. Their sales guidance for 2025 is also a miss. But that was reaffirmed, so that wasn't anything new.
Yeah, good. Yeah, a couple good reviews there. Thanks, Adara, for that. But as this goes on, man, Intel still getting cranked lower right now, down to $20.50. They do not like that report there today. So downside move there for Intel. So if you guessed Google versus Intel, I'm actually not sure which one is moving more. It's Google that's moving to the upside. It's Intel that's moving down. It looks like we'll get that tariff relief that we are hoping for with Google. Not much effect to them, and good movement. $70 billion buyback. It's a good day here for Google shareholders as they beat 280. Wow, what a hefty beat. 281 versus 201. And then sales 90.2 versus 88.8. Like, Google absolutely hammering those shorts, nicely traded to the upside. But, you know, you're not through anything yet. We talked about Google being above that 160 mark. So that's the key. We just broke through that 160. We're now up here to 165. What's up, Tia, there in the chat? What's up to Marcos? What's up to Paulathon? As we get that nice move right back up there into the 50-period moving average. Look, it's been a long time that we've been excited about some of these tech names. We're excited now. It's Google, nice upside play. Man, I feel like, you know what, about not being able to, not buying the dip there. I was buying through out there, but I had a lot of cash sitting there. We should have been able a little bit more aggressive on the cues. But you know what, when the sky is falling, it doesn't look like a great idea to step in there and buy. So I have Google up here at 166, watching that live level 2. But you know what we maybe should watch? It's Intel. Intel right now getting absolutely destroyed here right now, down through $20.
Not that bad. Some of these numbers are not that bad.
No, I don't know. I mean, the numbers,
Their
you know,
data center
the
revenue
guide is
is
horrible. Check the guide.
Oh,
it
no,
was
I
really
haven't
bad.
seen the guide. The guide is
yeah. So the lower end of the guide right there at Darrow was 11.4 billion, and they were expecting 12.8. That is like 10% lower on the guide. So there goes Intel looking real nasty, man. On the daily chart, we're all the way back here. And if we flip it over to a 1-minute chart, it just looks nasty. I mean, as Adara just mentioned, it's not that bad, the number, but Intel was up 7% or so, I think, today. And we're down 3. So Intel getting hit on the downside again there. Is Meta going? You just mentioned that. I saw that in the chat. Yeah, there goes Meta. And this is exactly right. This is a sympathy play for Google. Probably the Google Cloud number is probably great. So there goes Meta, good hyperscaler, nice move on Meta. And again, remember, if Google is talking about ads still being strong, YouTube being strong, well, who's advertising? It's Meta. So it's a nice move up there for Meta. I'm gonna guess Amazon flying a little bit on this as well. Yes, there goes Amazon. Wow, man, we had Amazon today long at 181. Amazon right now is 189. Nice move higher there for Amazon. What is another hyperscaler there? We've pretty much gone through most of them as we go. I don't think this will have too much effect on Apple. AAPL, that's right.
It's doing that. It's doing that thing where it decides it wants to take a nap.
Oh, wants to take a nap?
All the time. If you look up too many charts at one time, it just decides to not.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so we'll have to hold.
On that computer anyway.
We'll have to hold out hope here that
it's not going to come back. You're going to have to close and reopen it.
Oh, it's not going to?
Yeah.
There's right on top of all of this. Okay, so let me close this and reopen it, but we do still have our live level 2s right here. So why don't we just go over this quickly? I can use this. Thanks, Adair. I'll get that closed and read back in. But there goes Intel down to $20, bouncing off 20. Maybe we get a bid right here. This is $19 on the daily chart for Intel, so maybe that comes back. An absolutely destructed guide. I do not like what we heard there from Intel today, although you already gone over the numbers. They're not horrible.
Yeah,
all right.
actually
TMUS, I don't want to avoid all these names because there was some bigger moves today as well. There goes T-Mobile down 5% now. So they're losing $20 or so on this move, down from 265 down to 247, move down for T-Mobile. We already highlighted Gilead. That's back now. So they were getting hit right there down to 99, back up to 104. Rewind about 5 minutes. Adara did some great work on that name. Let's see if there's any sort of effect on NVIDIA. And again, you know, as Google says everything is fine, then maybe everything's fine in NVIDIA land as well. If Google's going to buy some more H100s, then let's go on that one. AMD reacting to these numbers at all? No. So right now it's Meta looks like it's going to, Meta looks like it's going to be a big winner. Meta. Oh no, now everything on this computer. Oh, Meta, bang, right there, 5% up right now on Meta. Meta getting another $15 here after hours for this name as they're going big on Meta right now. So good number for Google, bad number for, I mean, the Intel numbers, as you mentioned, weren't that bad.
No, I really want to talk about their AI.
Yeah, go, let's go then.
Because it was spectacular. So Intel reported 4.01 billion for AI data center revenue. Analysts are looking for 2.96. So that is a significant beat for INTC in an area that they are historically known to not perform super well. And we know one of the criticisms here of Pat Gelsinger during his tenure as the CEO of Intel was that AI and data center revenue was not it. Now we have like a nice over $1 billion beat on expectations. I think that is a really good look for INTC. Also, there was some Apple robotics news that came out near the close. I don't think it's anything super significant, but basically they have some new people here entering the robotics team as they prepare to kind of spruce up their AI, which we know, much like Intel, is not something that Apple is known to be historically good at, AI. But yeah, that's just my quick take it. Also, I guess we have Alphabet. Yeah, just more comments here from Alphabet. Nothing super significant here. Intel, again, I want to mention they did talk about cost-cutting measures, but this was reported earlier. It was actually on our watch list a couple of days ago. This is not a surprise.
All right, so just trying to look to see if there's any other sort of movements here that we had missed in the after hours as far as earnings are concerned. I mean, we were just looking at those big four right there as well. MSOS today, wow. Talk about some sectors that were making some moves today. We ignored this, and you had brought that story from not High Times, but there was a marijuana website.
Marijuana moment.
Marijuana moments. So have your marijuana moment tonight maybe, but for today, they definitely had a moment. Marijuana stocks, MSOS to the upside today. Also by, okay, so Google raised their dividend by a penny from 20 to 21 cents. Not a huge movement there. Canopy Growth today up 1.5. I think there was some tabling of a bill, maybe, is that what or the website was being built? There was some news there
some research
today.
Thing, yeah.
But a nice move to the upside right there for CGC. Did Tilray also sort of get high today? Yes, it did, up to 49 cents. But let's just look how bad this has been to the downside, right? As well as CGC as well. Oh, you know what? So Intel right now talking about they have no M&A activity at the moment. That's bad because we did hear that there was an underlying call on these guys because it wasn't, or maybe it was, no, it wasn't Oracle.
TSM was reportedly buying them.
But there was someone else. I'll try to remember who that was. Was Taiwan Semi? No, they had a deal with Taiwan Semi anyways.
That was
Oracle. It wasn't Oracle. There was another name that was involved. But Intel right now, I'm just hearing in my ear, and maybe you can confirm this, but there was no, apparently they're not looking at any M&A opportunities right now. So yeah, someone in the chat saying, wasn't Google just 140? Yeah, it was. Now 164, if we flip over to the daily chart for Google, there it is, man. There's that bottom of 140. And yeah, just Monday, we were at 148, so a nice move there for Google as we get that. Qualcomm, trade forever, you're the man. That was exactly what it was right there. It was QCOM. So Qualcomm did have interest at one point in Intel. That was maybe a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago. But Qualcomm actually also continues to get hit to the downside as well. Qualcomm reporting April 30th, so they're coming out very, very soon. I know you're working on the weekly calendar.
It's done, but I'm not posting it yet because we're trying to do a schedule. So it's just like going to be basically, if you want the weekly calendar for the next week of earnings, look for it the last day of this trading week around 3 p.m. So it'll be Friday tomorrow. Sometimes it'll be Thursday if it's like a shortened week, but Friday, 3 p.m.
Okay, perfect. So Friday, 3 p.m., we'll get the earnings. We'll talk about that off of your post tomorrow. And there's a lot. And the reason why I want to bring that up is because Meta is also April 30th. So that's going to be another big name coming through next week. May 6th is AMD. NVIDIA is May 28th. That's a late one. We have Apple next week, I believe, too. Yes, May 1st for Apple coming out next week as well. So the big winners today, before we call on Steve Teilman here from Trade the Pool waiting in our green room, we thank him for coming out. There it is, the news today. So Apple not moving too much here. I'm going to put up a 1-minute chart just so we can see how dramatic some of these moves have been. Intel CFO. Okay, expecting to have some tariffs weighing in on their name. So here's Intel up here, $20 by 2060. What do you guys want up here? You want Google? Let me just call up Google. These are live level 2s again as we go. There's Google 165 and change, as you know. So there's Intel, downside move. Good report, bad guide for Intel. Google, let's have a quick look at that one. Still 165. T-Mobile, one more name that we're looking at. Downside. We didn't even get to talk about some of the major moves today. So before we call on Steve, let's just look at some of the indexes today or some of the ETFs. SMH, obviously we got a great semi. I'm going to call the dailies for these. So SMH trying to claw back from those bottoms, right? NVIDIA had that bottom near $90. Same AMD, $80. Nicely bouncing back, or 70, maybe 76 for AMD. Nice move there for SMH back to the upside as well. OIH, the oil holders, nice move again today, up another 2%. But if you're looking for some sort of value, I think the energy space does have that right now, especially if we do get some sort of a resolution between Ukraine and Russia, and then especially China. Remember, when there's this recession talk, and especially a slowing down of the global economy, which we've seen GDPs come down as estimates, then you're going to get oil to the downside because oil is so used in transportation of said goods and development production, right? So you got to watch out for oil. If China's back on and they're going to start to produce, then why why can't oil rip as well? IWM, I know we talked to Steve about this, I believe, last week. IWM, a nice day today, up 2%. Although rates not really coming into focus, I think IWM does catch a lifeline from the no firing of Jerome Powell. I know that if we do replace Jerome, then that would probably mean that we would get cuts because that's what Trump's looking for. But at the end of the day, IWM needs stability, as does this whole market. And I think keeping the big guy there, Jerome Powell, probably a good move. It seems to have settled the markets a little bit. That's part of what rallied the last couple of days was good Trump speak from Jerome. I mean, about him. We went home on Friday talking about maybe this guy was going to be fired, or at least rumors to much of the Constitution that they can do, but at least replacing him. It's nice to see that we're all on track now to have a successor next May instead of this May. So that's really good there. Another play today was American Airlines with, actually they wound up today, American Airlines. What was going on there? We did have a downside move early on AAL. They battled back a little bit there. Yeah, so down early, up late. So that's nice. I was looking at the Jets ETF today, up around 2%. So I actually have to log into Stream Deck. Is there anything you want to say quickly before we bring on Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, check out, I'll see if I can pull this up quickly. Check out our infographics on X for TTV Research for the whole Trump Powell situation. I'm just gonna pull up some of these. Basically what I did was I did this as a 3-part series. I combed through Trump's Truth Social account, but he posts a lot. So this took a while, but I went through all of his posts mentioning the Fed in 2025 so far. And I kind of categorized it into 3 parts. This is the 3rd part. That's when we get into Mr. Too Late, which is his nickname that he gave Fed Chair Jerome Powell. And really these attacks escalated after Fed Chair Jerome Powell basically said, I'm not going to lower rates just because certain people want that to be the case. I'm paraphrasing here, right? So that's when Trump really wanted determination. As of Monday, you mentioned Friday, we thought he'd be getting fired. As of Monday, Trump was still really pro-firing, but I guess some people tried to talk him down.
That's what
worked.
I think it was.
But anyways, if you want a whole play-by-play on this, you can take this on an X at TTV Research. I had a lot of fun making it.
Yeah, definitely check that out at Trader TV, TTV Research,
Yes.
Of course. All right, Steve's ready. Let's go with Trader Talk. It's Mr. Tileman. How are you from Trade the Pool? Wow, every time you come on, it seems like now we got big earnings. We had you on last week when we had that major dump. And then all of a sudden today, good earnings from Google. I mean, good reaction to the Google print. Not a great reaction to Intel. Did you have any foresight into any of that? Any opinions on those 2 names here as we have over 5,000 watching right now?
Hey, Sean, thanks for having me on. Yes, I got everything right. No. So basically where I was coming into the market today is Google earnings was very, very important. Intel, I don't really care too much about, to be honest, but Google really is kind of a weather vane for where the market's at right now. So we're at a very pivotal point in terms of right at the middle of the kind of Trump tariff range, or the high of that tariff candle in the middle of the range from our swing high to swing low. So big earnings after hours. My eyes were peeled on it, and I'm pretty excited to see the results. Seems like we might have some room to the upside here.
It does seem like that, but we are trying to pull back just a little bit right now as Google's coming back into 164. I do agree with you because this seemed to have also sparked another name here, Meta, moving forward. So Meta's going to come out next on April 30th, which I believe is Wednesday of next week.
Yeah,
so we're going to have Meta there, and we'll talk to you hopefully on Thursday and see what happens with Meta. But as you just said, rising tide seems to lift all ships today with both Google and Meta. I mean, here's all the indexes right here. Everything green today. We had an interesting talk on the PM show that we do from 2 to 4, and it was, if there was a sector, I mean, 2 to 4, yeah. That we had last year was comms was one of the best sectors there, communication sector. What would you be thinking if we started right now, moving forward into the end of the year? Is there a specific sector that you're excited about? It doesn't have to be what's going to win, but is there one that you'd like to focus on either on the long or the short side in the next 6 to 8 months?
Yeah. I think there's some really compelling opportunities that the current market environment's given us. One that I think is really interesting is biotech, actually. It's been incredibly beaten down. It's starting to look like there is some coherency and some clarity in our plan forward. Maybe one tweet will throw it out the window, but it seems like we've got the potential for a nice rally here to continue. So yeah, I'm watching some names in that space. I still love my emerging markets, especially Latin American markets.
Okay.
So I got some exposure there as well. Those are some areas I'm looking at. I'm looking at energy too, but I don't feel like I have a good enough grasp on the dynamics there either.
You like Macabro Libre there in the in the Latin markets, or is it EWZ, which would be the Brazilian ETF? Give us a name or something to look at for Latin America. I know New Holding is a bank that conducts a lot of business over there. Is there anything specifically you're looking for?
Yeah, I like the financials a lot. One particular subsector, I think GXG, which is Colombia, and also Argentina, are both looking really good. Right. So I've got some GXG. Awesome. Yeah, I've got some GXG. I think it's looking really good, especially on a longer dated chart. You can really see the base and the potential to move. Yep. So I like that a lot. I like GGAL for, I believe that's Argentinian banking. So I'm in that as well. I also have charts for you guys this week. If you want, I can pull these up as well. Either way.
Yeah, we can share screen if Ramin is ready.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay,
awesome.
There we go. Yeah, so if there's anything you want to talk about, go ahead. We're showing them now.
Awesome. Great. So this is GGAL. As you can see, we've got a really big cup here, basically. I think we're breaking out into a handle. There's a lot of potential here. I'll pull up GXG as well and just show you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a real big, nice double bottom. We've got a nice trend line break from basically all-time highs. And it's really, really compelling stuff in this sector. I'll pull up one more for you in this space. EWZ, nice and clean. Again, a lot of double bottoms here, a lot of constructive price action, a lot of downtrend line breaks, and a lot of room above. So that's kind of the name of the game in these ones.
Yeah, EWZ, a big Brazil, obviously ETF there, looks pretty good. Any thought about MSOS? I mean, I zoomed out on this one, and I almost don't even want Ramin to put this chart up, but she's going to do it anyways. This weekly chart is just like, wow, you're all the way here at the bottom, and I'd rather not look at this. I mean, that high goes all the way back to 21 there, where we were $52, believe it or not, now down to $3. If we actually zoom in a little bit and look at the daily, we're breaking the 50 period. We might have had a little smiley face action going on right there, trying to take out the top. Obviously, we've done that on the 50 period. Looks any good to you here, MSOS?
I want to like it. I think there could be something there. It's such a beat down sector, and we're looking for those kind of places where we can really get some leverage and torque if everything is going to rally, right? So if this does have legs, then I think that there could be a lot of room up to the upside there. It's just a lot of short sellers overhead, so we got to keep an eye on that.
Thank you so much here for being with us once again. We have a question in the chat here.
Are you muted? Go ahead. Yeah.
Apologies for that. I was on mute there. Thank you, Steve, for being with us. We have Gurjeet in the chat asking about AI. C3AI on the daily chart does look a little bit beaten up. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think there's any buying opportunities, any potential strength there, or does it look like it's going to continue to be a bit weaker?
Oh man, Adar, that's a name I haven't looked at in a while. I just pulled it up right now, and it looks interesting. So it's a hard bottom there. You can years old crayons here. So it does look like it's forming a decent bottom here. I think we need to get over that 23, 24 handle to really start cooking. There's some downward pressure on the EMAs, but hey, we've got the curling action on the short-term EMAs, and if this is an area that you're looking for, I don't mind it. Let me see. There's one other name in the AI space that I am a fan of. Let's see if I can find it. I'll bounce back to you guys if I remember that name. Oh, CLS. That's what it is. CLS is looking pretty promising. So that's one name that I'm keeping an eye on for the AI space. Really strong leader. So
that's Celestica, and of course located in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So shout out to Celestica there with a nice, here's what it looks like on the weekly chart. We often don't talk too much about Canadian stocks, but there it goes. Nice move there. Yeah, pull back in. Nice move. We'll check out Celestica. So I'm glad you brought that up. We don't talk about those names too often. All right, I'm just going to go to an earnings name again, and it's going to be Intel. I don't even know how far back I want to pull this thing. I mean, I have a weekly chart right here. This goes all the way back to Feb 19th. I mean, I think it actually looks better on a monthly. Intel has a lot of historical data, obviously, behind it. It's been here forever. But if we go all the way back, and, Steve, you tell me, I mean, am I crazy to do this? This goes back to 2010. So right now, if you fell asleep and just woken up, I guess it would be called a coma, and you've been in that since 2010, and you're like, all right, well, there's been 15 years from here, and we're right at that same level, and Intel also doesn't even pay a dividend anymore. What do you think about this name? Like, there's going to be a lot of traders here today that are excited to get back in this, and the reason why is there's been a daily bottom, if we just look right there, and it's been a pretty good one at $19. So now that we have the earnings behind us, It was actually not a bad earnings report. It was more the guide that was horrible, and you've mentioned that you've been looking at this today. What are we doing with Intel? I mean, I want to buy some. I'm in at 1980, so I'm actually flat now. Any comment here on Intel, or we just let sort of sleeping giants continue to sleep?
You know, it's tough to say. So I think there's a couple kind of cohorts of traders, some that are really interested in this, like kind of the bottom pickers, bottom of the range, long-term support, that kind of thing. I think there's a lot of validity there. My thing is that I'm fine not buying the bottom, but I need to really feel like I have the information to know it is a bottom. So for me, you know me, Sean, I love my 200-day moving averages. So that's what my eyes are on. Last couple times it's popped above, it was a brick wall. And you know, that's such a common theme with a lot of these lagging semiconductor names. You see it a lot on MU, how the 200-day was just playing defense like 5 or 6 times.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah,
the bottom fell out. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on. I wouldn't be surprised to see it surge to the 200 and then maybe make new lows. Hopefully not. That's what bulls would want to see. Catch before the new lows.
Great call there. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, the 200 period moving average has been a great level there. And here's your micron. I mean, great. Where's that bang button for you? There it is right there. Call this chart up, Ramin. I just want to give Steve some credit for this because there it is. Bang, 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 bang. 4 times there. And the funny thing is we came up to those levels. So screaming up only to halt completely and every single time at different price levels, but always that 200 period moving average. Look, it's good when it works, right? Sometimes we do break above it and hang out for a little bit. And that's sort of what Intel has done there. So, all right, the other name was, you already sort of mentioned this, XBI versus IBB as far as the biotechs are concerned. The ETFs do look prime again, but we are so far away from the 200 periods. You kind of do have to pick that bottom there for both of these names. So XBI and IBB. So another name that I want to get your information on, and this is because you do like the 200 period so much. What do you think about this with Eli Lilly? Because we finally have broken back above it, and I know it's a very news-based game here with Eli Lilly, and they're going to be reporting next Thursday, so maybe we wait for that. But you're now above the 200 period. Do you like Lilly at these levels? Do we let it sort of settle down? For me, I don't like to trade anything, or at least hold on to a big position this close to earnings. Any feeling on some of that?
Yeah, it's an interesting space. I'm glad you brought it up. So for me, it looks like we are through the 50 fib, the middle of the big range that it's trading in. It's been trading sideways for a good number of months. As you can see, I mean, this isn't rocket science here, but I vaguely see a pennant kind of forming here, and we might be peaking out of it. So there's a lot of promise in the chart. I think it's a name that's such a powerhouse that you can't imagine that it will go down for too long. It seems like it's range bound and ready to push up eventually. So I'd be keeping an eye on it, that 200-day like you're talking about. And while we're talking about these this kind of basket, HIMS is also very interesting. Right. I gotta say, it's really held the line very well at a really key support level. So this 25 zone held like a champ. We have the 50-week moving average coming up, the 50% of the initial range here it held as well. So a lot of reasons why I think that this could keep going.
It's funny you mentioned HIMS there because HIMS and Eli Lilly right now trying to bash a little bit each other there. So we'll see whether or not maybe there's a pairs trade possibly right there. I can't recall. I know I've talked to many of our guests about crypto. Is that something you're comfortable with if we talk about that for a couple minutes? Okay, so right now, I mean, what a rally, right? I mean, back up to 93.5 right now, 93.4 on BTC itself. The venue or the tool that we trade on the show is IBIT. So that's I think it's the most volume, I think, as far as an ETF is concerned with that follows Bitcoin proper. What a great move. That 200 period on IBIT was just, I mean, almost the best. If we come over to the daily chart, Ramin, really quickly, and then we'll talk to Steve and let him go. But, I mean, it held it here. I was sure we broke a little bit below, but held it, see ya. So I don't know, are you one of those guys that's unrealistic on crypto, or do you think that right now we do have it moving more in line with maybe the NASDAQ? Like, we still get people on our chat that are like, this thing's going to 250,000, this thing's going to $1 million. Like, I think we got to get a little constructive before we figure that out. First of all, it needs to break this $60 mark. We need to get going there. I think we need to hear more about the Bitcoin reserve before we really get too excited about crypto. So I'm going to ask you one question. The first thing is, Where do you think Bitcoin goes from now until maybe the end of the year? And then the second part of the question is, are there any alternative coins or tokens that you like as well?
Okay, absolutely. So I think Bitcoin, I'm not going to say it's going to the moon, going to a million. I do think that there is good room on this chart. I think that the cycle is probably not over. And there are a lot of kind of macro reasons that we could argue that that could lead to this. Also, I love this trend line. I've been watching this one for months and months, and we're about to reclaim it. So I'm keeping an eye on that. This is a trade I have been a part of. I've been playing it with MicroStrategy, MSTR, as well as I just added some BitDeer today. So this is MicroStrategy. Looks like a clean flag break to me, nice clean double bottom. And then this is my more speculative play that I just added today because I saw some flow coming in. And this is BitDeer, coming off a nice clean base here, had the big squeeze, falling wedge, cooking now. So these are some names I'm watching. I don't know too many coins. I know Fartcoin's pretty hot right now.
Oh God, no, were you Michael Nas? All right, I like that. You're cooking. I like that right there. He's cooking. I'm gonna have to send this clip to Michael because that's a big shout out there. He's been talking about that coin for a minute, man.
So long.
Yeah, that thing really gets heated up sometimes.
Whew.
That's maybe a little bit off there.
Gas on that one.
Okay, Steve. Tell me where everybody. There's Adair. Hey, Adair, how's it going? We're on a 3-box here. So tell me where everyone can find you. I know you have that Twitter handle as well. Maybe a stock twits, and then if you're doing anything that people can maybe log into if you're doing that stream right after this.
Sure thing. You can find me on Twitter at JustyTrades, JUSTY Trades, and I will be on Trade the Pool's live YouTube stream in about 5-10 minutes tops, and we'll be doing a great seminar on some introduction to smart money concepts, stuff like order blocks, fair value gaps, displacement, all that good stuff. And so it'll be a lot of fun. I hope you guys check it out.
Perfect, amazing. Yeah, thank you again, Steve Tileman, from Trade the Pool. Everybody will hopefully go over there, click on that, and find you on Twitter. Watch you during your stream. Thank you so much again for coming through and some great ideas. The chat loves you, so we want to thank you for coming on one more time. Thank you, Steve, and we'll check you next week. Ciao.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, there we go, man. People in the chat saying they're following him as we speak. So thank you so much for that. Thank you, Bears vs. Bulls, for putting the handle in the chat as well. So, hey, crazy day again.
What a day.
We started off with like, are we going to go up today or what's the situation? Didn't get a good read early as the NASDAQ only was up 0.2 as we opened, and then the big close there at the end of the day going out at 2.8%. Nice move there for the NASDAQ. Nice move for the S&P, the Dow Jones, IWM, Bitcoin, gold even today. Netflix all-time highs continue to go higher and higher and higher. All right, thank you so much for everybody for joining us and for watching us today. A big thank you to Steve as well, but we're going to do a real quick, we're going to do a roll call because we got to get out of here. We are well over time right now, but we got to let Steve cook a little bit there. Yeah. He even said that it's now cooking, he said, Bitcoin. So I like that one. So quickly here, hey Dave, hey Royal Dixon, what's up to Go Rats right now as well? Daryl's here. Adara says hi to Daryl in the chat, so that's nice. Pug life, man, if you're going to have a life, why not have one of pug nature?
Or what's up English bulldog, like Sharif's dogs, right? That's
no, they're French.
They're French.
The Frenchies,
bulldogs.
the French bulldogs. Are we going to get this? Okay, there it is right there. Thank you, Ramin, for that. Tia's here. Sports and Stonks. Damien, the Pipers here as well. David, thank you so much for all your super chats. We'll make sure to bronze those shoes up for you there. Big milkshake trading. Man, we like those milkshakes, that's for sure. What's up to Jai, Bassam, Short Film, Tony, all those kind of guys. Dare say hi to a couple of them.
Dave hates 808s. I just love how much that name rhymes. So shout out to you. Shout out to Bassam. Shout out to Short Film, Rowboat, Robert Liu, DJ 2AM, Tay2 certified. Why not? Steven Romero, Tia, we've got Mean Gene, Nephew with capital P, Day Trader Cut, Pop the Cork, I love that one too, Tyler Smith, Drops Trades, and of course, Minnesota Trader, and thank you so much to Bears vs. Bulls for everything you do every single day. Shout out.
All right, Darren, this just came to me, so we always do this. We always do these fun things, okay? So now we're gonna do it here. We just gotta get this off the screen now, Ramin. I love sending Ramin back and forth. She's on her chair. She's going back and forth, back and forth. All right, so this is brought to you by the chat. I just saw something in there. Okay, so this is a milkshake. What flavor is it?
Oh, well, the first one coming to mind right now is Shamrock.
And Shamrock Shake. Shout out to the Shamrock Shakes there. Very popular, obviously, at McDonald's. I don't remember the last time I had one of those.
I was just thinking, I haven't been to McDonald's in, like, honestly, maybe years, months or years.
8 years, did you say?
Maybe, I said maybe years.
Oh, maybe.
More like realistically months. Probably months. Okay, sorry, no, I went around Christmas. So it was probably like, it's been like 4 months. 4 months.
Okay, so what did you have?
Well, it was like I just had a burger. I think like I've told people I like the tiny children's cheeseburgers.
Yes.
So just the tiny children's cheeseburger.
Junior chicken is what Ramin's
That's
like.
such a Ramin, and I don't know why that. I'm like, that's perfect for Ramin.
I like the junior chicken. Yeah, that's like part of that like dollar value menu.
Or like
although
the
like,
little
I think they're still $4 or
Yeah.
something like
Anyways,
that. Yeah.
we're off topic, but thank you.
No, we're completely on
Don't
topic.
rush
I mean, this is what we're doing. So thank you so much to everybody. Thanks especially to Ramin, who's staying late with us. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls. Thank you to Steve for coming through from Trade the Pool as well. Brendan today, Sharif, Joe, Neil, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you're joining us tomorrow as we'll have the opening trades of both Intel and Google, and we'll be watching those very, very closely. So thank you, Adara, for a great show, and we will be seeing you guys tomorrow at 8:30.
See ya.
Ciao till then.
Bye.